Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Africa. My name is Dr. Sid, and this is the Umzansi Esports League Season 4, brought to you by none other than Nordwin Gaming. You are here watching because you came here for some action, and myself, Snare, and Aero OG are here to give you that action. So if you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. It is going to be live. But first of all, before I go crazy and do lots of crazy stuff, let's take a look at the schedule for today. There you go, as we have it, our almighty amazing schedule with the FIFA 22 segment starting in just a few minutes. We have a match between Atibira and Mobizilla, and then Masoom versus Deevak. And then we'll be moving on to the almighty PUBG Mobile segment, where we have matches on 3 maps, which is Erangel, Sanhok, and Miramar. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss that. But what is this all about? This is all for that amazing prize pool, which stands for Season 4 at a whopping $17,500, with $15,000 going to the PUBG Mobile segment and $2,500 staying right here in the FIFA 21 prize. FIFA 22 prize pool. I have to update myself because we're moving forward with things. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have amazing matchups for you. Let us take a look at who will be battling it out today. Our first match is going to be between Atibira, the newcomer, the guy who made it up to the premium status of the FIFA 22 tournament, and he's going up against Mobizilla. Snare, talk to us about these two gentlemen. What are we expecting?
So Mobizilla, of course, one of the OGs here in the Umzansi Esports League, has participated in every single contest, has yet to be able to really cover himself in glory the entire time, but has been one of those consistent sort of mid-table finishers throughout the entire tournament. So he's somebody who has shown himself to be able to have that consistent character about him. Whereas with Atibira, like you mentioned, he's come up from the Nkosi Super Cup. He's the new kid on the block, still trying to prove himself. We haven't seen him go up against the Beast Bianchi. Not a very easy matchup. And of course, he didn't find himself able to win that one out. But things can only get easier from here. Still looking for that big opportunity to make a splash in, like you mentioned, the premier version of the FIFA 22 competition here in Umzansi Esports League.
All right, but ladies and gentlemen, let's also take a look, very importantly, at the standings as they stand so far. Aero OG, tell us what we're looking at.
So we've got Beast Bianchi up in first place with 6 points, having to win both his matches, and has scored 10 goals in total. But then following behind is Deevak, looking to start off his one quite strong with the first win. And then Masoom, and then Bobby Beast having to win one and then lose one as well on 3 points. And then Unfazed, Mobizilla, Young Savage, and then followed over by Athibira, who's managed to lose his first match that Snare mentioned, going up against Beast.
Yeah, and as we are looking at it right now, Masoom has a very, very special opportunity to bolster himself and get himself some major points in this season's tournament against Atibira, who is looking in a very, 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 very tight situation, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be lit today. So, as I always do, like to ask the big, tough questions.
The painful ones.
Yes. ROG, tell me, what does I have to do today? He's lost by a heavy margin. His goal defense is really down. He needs to come hard. What does he have to do today to sort of put fear into hearts of everyone else that this kid is not here to play?
Yeah, definitely has a lot to prove, coming in, has new blood here in the Umzansi League. So for me personally, I feel like the player is going to be having that pressure on him consistently. So yeah, to really play his best in this game against Mobizilla. Mobizilla is there. He is a decent player in the Umzansi League, so it's not going to be an easy matchup here for Arthibira. But this is exactly what we love. The underdogs coming into the Umzansi League and then trying to prove all odds against them, and hopefully we get to see something like that here tonight.
All right, so very quick, we have to get very quick predictions. Snare, what's your prediction for this matchup?
I was mentioning earlier about how Atibira does need to be able to, really make a splash rather in this competition. I think also Mobizilla is looking at this competition right now. New game, new engine, new platform, a different way to try and sort of make sure that he's also recognized and remembered for being a really great FIFA player. So he felt really hungry that last game we saw from him. Sure, it didn't end up with a win, but it felt like a version of Moby that we've seen at higher heights. So I'm actually go with him on this one. Not very high scoreline. He's not a high scoring player. This is not a high scoring FIFA. So probably like 3-1, I think 3 or 4-1, somewhere around there. I think
3-4-1
Mobizilla's
to
gonna win.
Atibira or Mobizilla. Okay.
To Mobizilla. Yeah, I think Moby's got this.
All right, Errol, what's your quick prediction? We got to go. March about to start.
Honestly, Mobizilla is gonna win this for me.
All right,
Personally,
Mobizilla for the win. You know me, I like to shake the table up. I'm going to go Atibira. Ladies and gentlemen, we're cutting over into the live match right about now. If you are watching, please drop a comment right now because we need to know exactly how you feel and we need to know what exactly is happening right now. Tell us if you think Mobizilla, Atibira, who's going to be Masoom. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, match about to start. I will leave you in the very capable hands of Snare and Ira OG.
Dr. Sid's intros. Gotta love him. Thank you. Thank
God,
you so much. We're in the game now, and once we get things going here, it is of course going to be one of the situations where for Atibira, pressure's all on him, like you mentioned. He's going to be experiencing that throughout the entire time. Now it depends, does he have the mettle to be able to not let that get to him and actually use that pressure as a catalyst to play better? We'll see once the match gets underway here, Arrow.
yeah, well, definitely it's going to be an interesting evening, for Mobizilla just to try get, another consecutive win for himself. And then at the same time for Atibira to try prove himself here in the Umzansi. Promoting isn't one of the easiest things. So coming in here, he has a lot to live for. And hopefully we get to see exactly what type of skilled player he is. And we're just going to learn how he adapts going against these players.
Into the game now. One of the things that's going to be interesting to also see which players that he's utilizing on his pitch. Everybody has their own different incarnation of an ultimate team, but right now he's been spending a lot of time on this ball, dribbling it forward, playing very, very cautiously, but dominating on the possession to try and make sure that if he does get this goal, he doesn't leave any holes for a counter attack behind him. But it feels like he's been stuck on this flank for quite some time here, Era, without any real easy options to progress forward.
Yeah, you can see really the skill coming in from Mobizilla using those midfenders instead of his defense line to keep that pressure on there. But we could potentially be seen an open here. It's just gonna get intercepted and blocked over now. Barella trying to make a run. And talk about Barella this year. He's looking so much better when it comes down to technique and so forth. And that right leg, even though with only 73 shooting, is amazing outside the box.
Yep. Very high on the long shots. He got the ball to Memphis Depay, doesn't manage to find his way through. And this is actually interesting from Mobizilla. A very different team than what he started his career here in FIFA 22 with. But he ends up dropping the ball in a dangerous position. But what an aggressive tackle, very far outside the box. Brings up Upamecano. This is going to allow him to make something happen, but also leaves a very big hole in his defense in the event that Atibira gets the ball. But sadly, Ati can't really find the spaces to get through. And yet again, stuck running on the flanks. Feels like he just lives here now.
He is indeed living there, trying to cut in now into the box. A little bit of a skill move onto Inaki Williams. Will he be able to find some space? Unfortunately, not. Trying to get all his players to run back. And this could be a good counter here for Moby. Unfortunately, not that much support here. And we are seeing these players now making it into the box.
Yep.
Pass back all the way to midfield. Varela. Now onto Vidal. And a good interception coming in from R3 there. So yeah, no, like today is gonna be interesting. Snare. We got the an OG versus new blood, and for me personally, if I'm going up against the OG, I'm gonna be playing patient games, pass as much as I can, because for Mobizilla is like, I have this in the bag, I can win this, and that pressure on him is not too much. So if you're playing a patient game and waiting and flanking on the edges, like we are seeing from the Arthi over there, then we'll be seeing a potential goal. But he's playing it a bit too fast for me personally.
He needs to be able to slow it down. I was playing a lot more patiently when this game got kicked off, but of course, as things get going, you get a bit more excited about running forward. But still a lot of time to see him adapt his play. Playing on the flank here very carefully. Who can he get the ball back to? San Maximin. Let's find Kyle Walker. Can he find space in the box? Nope. Gets muscled out in that situation. Mobizilla still on the hunt for his first goal. Gets the ball and back into Isak. We've seen him in this exact position before. This time he knows that he doesn't want to run as far up before holding it back. So does it sooner, but also allows time to get reset on the side of Atibira. But now inside the box, Vidal Yet again intercepted, and there's no way forward here for Mobizilla. Still going to be remaining 0-0. Fairly close matchup here, despite the fact that Mobizilla was quite favored coming into this one.
Yeah, no, it is looking quite tough here on to, the start of the match. Maybe trying to understand each other. These are two players that never really went ahead of each other in the Mzansi, maybe outside, but we can maybe see what will be happening. I mean, slow plays indeed, and now he's back where we usually find him, and does look like he got a good opening into the box and he can pass it now. And this is looking really good. Takes a shot, but a good block.
Oh.
And that's what we love to see coming out from the goalkeepers here.
FIFA 22 goalkeepers. It is what it is. They're so good. Prevents the goal from coming in. And Atibira will be very upset about that. He surely thought that he had a goal there. But San
Yeah.
Maximin can't find the angle, unfortunately. And we still remain goalless. And he still has a lot of work ahead of him. Despite finding himself in all these positive positions, none of it matters if you don't actually get the goals. And Mobizilla is experienced enough to be able to sneak these goals in at a very late portion of the game. But can he defend here? Ooh, the attempted shot
Ooh.
from outside of the box. But yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really go his way. Atibira ends up just giving away possession in that situation.
This is something you need to hog in. Yeah, you can't, allow the back and front. And something I'm seeing on RTT Bira's formation is that it's very easily to counter. So you need to keep and hog that ball if you want to, go all in on this attack, because
Mm.
it is quite dangerous now when Mobizilla does have the ball possession.
Yeah, we can see Atibira is now being forced to drop a lot deeper in with so many players to cover some of those holes we were talking about. But it leaves him a bit more light on the attacking front. And we're seeing this ball die a little bit sooner in midfield than it used to. We'll see if he can change up this dynamic. Nabil Fakir getting this run going. Where can he go? Who will he find allies with? And Teka's the one that's going to be on the receiving end of those passes. And they try to release San Maximin, but yet again, on point with the defense here. Mobizilla stays in it, stays composed, stays clean. And I don't know about you, Ero, but it's feeling more like a matter of time until he's able to break through. And that moment might be now. Nabil Fakir almost
Oh,
through, gets tackled at the last moment, but that was a desperate scramble from Atibira there.
definitely. And we are seeing that whole slowly coming through to a gape, and this is a good cross, but no, it's just going to go into the hands of Neuer. And for Mobizilla, is getting to understand his opposition right now, and we will definitely be seeing a goal anytime soon. I'm telling you that, right?
Isak on the ball again, Moby. First half has just concluded now, so this is going to be the final passage of play. Nabil Fakir, can he find anybody to release? Nope, doesn't end up happening. So key takeaways from this particular half, we have seen that Atibura been able to scramble back on the defense, but it does feel like this has been, for better or for worse, it's been about Mobizilla and basically whether or not he's going to end up conceding the first goal, right? Atibura played
Yeah.
from jump to try and force that early goal out of him so he could have that comfort padding. Because like you were mentioning earlier, Mobizilla, he'll be playing with that thing in his mind that he knows he can win. He knows he has that ability. Atibura is the untested quantity here. So going into the second half, mentally, who do you think is coming off the better from what we just saw here in the first one?
Honestly, I'm seeing as if it is a table tennis match. You got the one team hogging the ball, then it's just immediately over to the losing the ball possession. So right now it's just a back and front, and nobody really is getting that guaranteed position to secure a goal. But let's see what happens now in this half, and we are seeing, Arthi being more better on the ball as it is coming to Mobizilla. Mobizilla is just taking on those aggressive runs and getting intercepted quite easily. Let's see what happens now here with Arthi. Again, same situation we are seeing in the first half, where they just lose the ball so easily in terms of those passes. But what a good run on the wing.
Oh,
He is going to successfully try get through here, but unfortunately, again, no support really to get into the box with.
force back once again into midfield. Sandro Tonali almost got the full release there. Very, very last second, Atibiro was able to hold his shape, but definitely is starting to struggle, especially with some of these more lobbed and longer balls, having a difficult time tracking all of them through the air. Now, let's see where he goes with his own run here. San Maximin on the reception. Can he get through? What a muscle job from Mobizilla.
Ooh,
Very feels bad. It always sucks when you get to all that way and then you just end up doing a goal kick instead of forcing out the corner. Feels bad.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, a corner is always a huge advantage. You may get that opportunity to sneak one in with a header. Liking the double press from Arthur over here, keeping his edges closed. But Moby still playing a passing game, playing it slow. Now onto Barella, into
Ooh,
Fakir, Fakir onto Isaac, and unfortunately, it does look like that may be a potential offside, and we're
yeah, it
gonna be
was.
seeing a reset yet again.
Whew, that is a moment of breathing room for Atibira. He's definitely happy about that fact, but we are starting to see Moby get a little bit better of a grasp of what's happening in the defensive quarters for Atibira, making life a lot more complicated for him that side. Needs to keep this ball on the offense as much as possible. Somehow manages to scoop up that ball. Is in a good position. Atibira with the
Oh,
shot, but the goalkeeper yet again comes in clutch. Manuel Neuer, the third time this game, will deny Atibira the opening goal.
oh, yet again, we are seeing a
Again.
good header come through, but unfortunately, the keeper's there to keep everything. Now takes it over to Vinicius, who is a meta player indeed, but now he's got the opportunity to shoot. No,
No.
he plays the ball instead to try pass it, and unfortunately, the balance on the player was just not there, and he had to lose the ball in such a crucial spot. But it looks like a good counter is coming in. There's a player on the wing to pass it over to Vidal. Vidal trying to make a run right here, but it is
Offside.
offside. Unfortunately, that timing is just going to find Vidal in a sticky situation, and hopefully, Mobizilla is able to detect that easier next time. And Williams on a run. Let's see
That
what
feels like an
happens.
offside. I'm very
No,
surprised that the referee hasn't dragged it back. And now we're in a situation where Atibira, he's inside the box. What can he make happen here? Will he be able to get through? He's spent so much time on this attack. Oh, he drags it goal wide, but doesn't end up going inside the back of the net. Just goes across the touchline. Will he
oh,
finally
this
get
is
in? Yes,
nice.
he does. Finally gets the space. Finally gets a way through. Inteka is in. Inteka is scoring. Artie Bira is on the scoreboard. The opening goal in this time, it's coming from the promoted man. The OG right now is having a difficult time, Aero OG.
He is indeed. I mean, talk about a good opening and guaranteeing, the 1-2 pass over there really is broken. And he took advantage of that situation. Having to move his goalkeeper out of place was successful as well. But it does look like we may have a strong response here from Mobizilla. Unfortunately, does look like he's going to get into a sticky situation where now he needs to lose the ball and a good clear. Now he can make a run on the wing. Does look like Valdreda can make a through ball right here. And
Nice.
Vinicius on the ball. Good opportunity, but unfortunately that's going to get blocked. And
Oof.
Mobizilla, it is in a sticky situation. I mean, we have one host, and this is just tough. We all predicted Mobizilla would have walked in a park with this one.
Absolutely, but he's really struggling right now to deal with Atibira. And one of the things about Mobizilla is that he's generally accustomed, given his competition in the Umzansi Esports League, he's accustomed to playing without possession on the ball and being able to utilize some strong counterattacks. But in this situation, he's struggling. What a cross! What a goal!
Mm.
Oh my goodness, Vinny Jr. comes in clutch. This time he's not the supplier, he's the receiver, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's 2-0 now for Atibira, and he is putting Mobizilla in a very difficult position. Still a full leg to go, but the way Atibira is playing, we're expecting even more goals from him at this rate, Ati. What a player at this point.
Definitely so good, and that's a through ball, and that should be guaranteed. It is
Ooh.
indeed. What a good
Ooh.
response! It's 2-1. He takes that. Memphis Depay with a good one on, and that is a good response here from Mobizilla. Hopefully,
Yeah.
not yet shut down for us here. We may potentially see a comeback, and it depends how the play style is going to come from Arthur Bira, whether he's going to just be a ball holder. We'll have to wait and see, but it does look like now he's making it into the second part of the field, and Valverde is holding the ball, playing it safe. The pressure is on here for Arthur after that massive response.
Big response there. And he knows that if he gives the space to Mobizilla, a second goal might come in to tie out this first leg, which would be really bad for his confidence. It's always nice to go into the second leg knowing that you have the cushion that your opponent doesn't. So can he tick this one out on the time? But more importantly, can he find a way to yet again put 2 goals past on the goal difference? Time is ticking out here, Arrow, and it doesn't seem like either player is really going to be willing to take any massive risks for the rest of this game. So now they're both thinking about game management, thinking about the next game. Moby knows that if he gives up this ball, might be the last patches of play for himself. Doesn't want to give it up, but at the same time, really wants to get a goal going. And he might have the opportunity. This is a dangerous position to be in. Davies, who's he going to pick out here? Gets himself to do Vidal. Vidal, the shot comes in, but gets blocked in. No opportunity to get that goal.
And this is an aggressive play. And this is good. It is. It's in. It's not offside. And a celebration indeed.
Oh
As
my
Alexander
gosh.
manages to swift one in. And it was an aggressive one. So if he did lose that one, we did see Davies all the way up in, the attacking position. So everyone was sent up to make sure that they can try to get in a
Oh
goal.
my
And they
gosh.
just end that first leg with a 2-2, man.
Heartbreaking right now for Atibira. He was ahead for so long. He spent the majority of this game in terms of the scorelines. He got the first goal, he got the second one, forced Mobizilla to play catch up the entire time. But Mobizilla's been here before. This exact position where you're behind on goals against an opponent that's playing up in your face. And we were talking about earlier, he doesn't always play with that much possession. He knows how to pick his moments, wait for the counter attack. And we got to see two perfect examples of that, right? The last
Yeah.
attack of the game, instead of game managing, Atibira went for the attack, got denied it. And like you mentioned, Mobizilla was happy at that point to bring the whole team up forward, right? What's there to lose? You got literally nothing to lose. The time's about to finish anyway, and he makes it work, gets the second goal. Soul crushing right now for Atibira.
Literally. I think the pressure started to build up massively when we did see, the 2-0 come in for Arthi, but then it was literally a massive response, a counter coming in with Moby that made it 2-1. And then we did see him trying to be a ball holder, trying to play the ball possession. But unfortunately, when you know that is happening, it's time to set those formations, set in an all attack play, and we did see a successful literally 90th minute goal. So no response that could have happened either way from Arthi, and they're going to take that one by the chin and hopefully go into game number 2 a little bit of a breather here, and let's see just exactly what will be happening. But yeah, it's pretty close, man. The way they just play that game where I'll take the ball, you take the ball, but in the end it was Arthi who responded first, who managed to get in a massive 2-goal lead. Hopefully we get to see a better play in terms of holding the ball midfield wise and on the defense, using his defense better.
I hope so as well. One thing I was thinking about in this particular game is that Mobizilla, in the previous season of the Umzansi Esports League, he was the only person to draw more than once. He had several draws to his name. And one of the reasons he was able to do so was that he was very good always at figuring out what his opponents were doing and then getting a goal out of them, if not necessarily being able to play from that aggressive position. And we saw towards the end of this first game that he was really starting to figure out the defense in particular from Atibira. And you were just mentioning that you hope he's improving on that aspect. Do you think Mobizilla is going to be able to exploit it fast enough that he can get his own goals through? Or will Atibira, or do you think he's actually got it in him, Atibira, to adapt right now to stop that from happening? Because it's starting to get a little bit worrisome how free-flowing Mobizilla was feeling in the final third, even when he wasn't scoring.
Yeah, you know what? For the most part, I feel like we're gonna see an Arthi score a first goal, because now if you look at it, if it's a continuation, it is in favor for Arthi right here. So I'm hoping that we get to see something like that coming to play where Arthi does score the first goal, but then we're gonna then see him not control that pressure too well from Mobizilla, and Mobizilla will then potentially be taking the lead through that. So let's see exactly what will be happening though here from the two Titans that we have playing together.
Here we go, the second leg. Atibira, the up-and-comer, against the OG Mobizilla. Who's got this? It's an even draw right now. This is effectively a best of one. No history. We're going to be helping you in this result. But let's get underway. Mobizilla, first one on the ball, and of course wants to be the first one to make something happen. Got the sneaky goal at 90 minutes. Can he get the sneaky goal early in the game as well? He caught, though, in a trap that he put, ironically enough, Atibira in most times in the previous match. And yet once more, also just played back into midfield. Sandro Tonali always going to be there for the ball between himself and Barella, but he's like Mobizilla, sometimes has difficulty transitioning from that phase of play. But I say that, and he gets right through. What a pass, what a play. Nabil Fekir. Wow. Curls it past the goalkeeper. Early goal. Damn.
He's taking the words out my mouth. What I said earlier, just forget that, Snap, because what a massive play coming in from Moby. He managed to keep it off from playoff and just get that early goal. But check here, what we have on our books right now is Aussie really trying to get in as quick as he can. He's opened the play. He can't get in a pass, but unfortunately hogging onto the ball too long. And now a counter could potentially be played, but an interception indeed coming in from Aussie.
I have to play with that desperation. He needs to have fire in his veins right now to keep up with this. There's no way that he's going to be able to play a full game from behind. He needs to draw this out ASAP before Moby potentially is able to score another one. Moby is not going to give him the opportunity to rest on his laurels, wants to keep him on his ropes. What will RT be able to do about this? We saw many times how often he had the ball. Oh, that pass would have been so great. He gets back on the other side of the ball, though. It looked like an interception. He still has a chance here. Fakir looking for a goal on the other side. He's not able to make it happen for Atibira the same way he made it happen for Mobizilla.
Now Mobizilla on the ball. He can play it slow just like he did from playoff. Play a passing game, try open up that defense line, get him to force his CBs out of position. But it does look like it's a quick run into the box, and now his players are starting to get in here, and we could potentially be seeing a goal soon. A good open pass, and he takes a shot on, but what a save. And it is offside, actually, so not even going to go into the corner, unfortunately, here for Moby, and that's all possession lost. But good defense here on the LB, and he's now managed to get the ball yet again and straight onto the strikers. He still has it here, man.
How is this possible? Isak, what? Lashes it across the goal, but it doesn't go into the back of the net. Came very close. Goalkeeper reflexes had to come in clutch once more. Mobizilla, he's really figured out this attacking rhythm. Goes for the header, but he misses inches past the post. Isak would have really put Mobizilla in a commanding position. It ends up not happening. It stays 1-0 here in the situation. But Mobizilla is feeling relentless here, Hero. Every part of the pitch, every ball that he's playing, he's like a progressive part of the attack and not just part of the build-up.
Yeah, definitely. He's now gone into a great position and just unfortunately able to connect that pass over there. And he is feeling that pressure, you know, trying to make sure that his players are nicely widespread for the play that could potentially come in. There's a through ball on the wing. He takes it. He's now running. And, that defense line just coming in quickly to try keep the pressure on him and hog him. But no, he gets a pass into the box, trying to get a cross in. Unfortunately, that's going to get blocked, but it's still onto him. He takes a shot. He gets it in, and that's going to be a fantastic 2-0 lead. And Mobizilla is just running away with this game. Talk about unlucky plays for Arthi, unfortunately.
Damn, Atibira gets caught out, and what was really crazy about that play is how Mobizilla, once again, we see him on the flank, get the explosive sprints past the final defender. The way he played it into the middle of the box, completely outclassing Atibira, who tried everything with all of his tricks to try and get the ball off of Mobizilla, but unfortunately came up wanting. The goal comes in, he needs his own one back, can't find it just yet. He still has possession of the ball though, Ati. The best time to score against FIFA players is right as they score themselves. Atibira, can take advantage of this window? Doesn't seem like it just yet. He's still on the ball. Williams looks for the shot, forces the corner. He might have the chance here, but now there's also time for Mobizilla to reset himself on the defense and prevent the score from happening.
Definitely. Let's see what will be the play. Still, you know, on the ball possession in some way, form, and it is working in a way. He's gonna get a little bit of a cheapy. But offside. Offside. It ends over there. That chapter closes quickly for Aussie, unfortunately, but that would have worked so well for him if it did manage to connect in. And now you're seeing a quick play to get into the half of Aussie, and it is going to be a good play onto Isaac over there, but unfortunately just not able to make that. And yet again, offside. We're seeing a lot of offside plays coming from Aussie.
Referee has clearly not accepted any bribes from his team. Calling it very harshly, feels bad. At this point in time, Mobizilla, with a long way left in the game, he's looking for more goals. Still doesn't feel like Atibira is fully comfortable on the defense here. You see that he's now changed up the style from a much more man-marking centric lineup to like just trying to cover these passing lanes and keep him out that way, but it's not working. Mobizilla's through, but no! The 12th man, the post, comes in clutch for Atibira, saves him at the last moment. Would have been a very, very sad goal to have gone through, but fortunately for him and any Artibira fans, it doesn't. He's still in the game. 2 goals is recoverable, 3 would be impossible, but he still has a lot of work ahead of him. And he's probably rattled right now, thinking about the fact that this could easily have been 3-0.
Easily could have, and you know, a pole is the best friend to a goalkeeper. And let's see what will be, you know, the final play for the first half. It does look like he's managed to find himself in the wing yet, and we know what these situations look like for Mobizilla, but unfortunately unable to connect that pass into the box, and a potential final attack coming in from Arthi for the first half over here. It's a through ball, but this player is running backwards instead of forward, still on the ball possession in the half. He needs to play it quick if he wants to manage to get this attack. Dribbling with Inteka, unfortunately, just a quick, slow one. Now it's an open pass to midfield. He's playing with time here, and it's ticking quite quickly. Will he get this pass? He does so indeed, and he scores! What a response! He comes through for the first half to go in with confidence into the second one. And he hogged and played so well here, Snare. That was such a juicy, juicy goal coming in from him.
He did exactly what Moby did to him at the very dying moments of a half, at the end of the passage of play, keeps the ball, makes it happen, gets it into the back of the net. Very, very well done here. And Artibira with this is not just a very hopeful scenario for what might happen for himself, given the scoreline, but there's also going to be a huge injection of momentum and of just confidence into him. Now he knows that he's capable of also slowly breaking down Mobizilla. Some of his prior goals were a bit more explosive in how they happened, but that goal was just sheer tenacity and patience throughout the entire way. He's up. One more goal, and we're back into a draw, back into a tie. Mobizilla still feels dangerous on the attack, but now Artibira is showing that he's not going to be defenseless in this matchup either.
Yeah, the win on the opposite was very much open, but he takes the run, and ooh, a good block. Goes in for a goal kick, actually. And now we're going to be seeing Arthi send his players on a run to the other side. He does get that ball, but unfortunately just losing it based on his touch over there. And you can see him now try and make a play for that wing. And he won't be able to get it if he chip. But no, he won't do it. Playing it slow. Loves this side of the pace. Takes in a good cross, and ooh, the header is just not there.
Almost was going to be in. And he's been very threatening in the air, with Isak in particular inside the box, Mobizilla. But Arti responding well, gets him out of it. Needs to respond a bit better here, being exploited quite a bit with the passing in midfield. Doesn't really have anybody that wants to chase down the ball at this point in time. Barella's been forced to drop in a bit deeper, but it ends up working out. He intercepts the ball, can't carry it outwards, but he does the right thing. And what a sliding tackle to get in the way of the ball. And I like this adaptation from Artibira. He's not really being exploited as easily anymore since he's let go of this man marking, and it's helping out quite a lot. And he's got a very good ball into the box. Williams is on it. Williams trying to hunt for Fakir, but unfortunately for him, Makeno with the foot extends it at the right moment, keeps him out, keeps it 2-1.
And he's still here on the attack. Fakir managing to find Williams. Williams back to midfield. Now on to Fakir. But will he get an opening? The defense is just so tight here from Mobizilla, and it could be a potential cross, and we do see it. Oh! What a successful cross and a header coming in, and you just got to love Inteka over there, finding that header going in, and we are back to a draw. Beautiful scenes here in the Umzansi League.
Oh my goodness, Artibira doing to Mobizilla what Mobi has not done to him just yet. Mobi's been trying to get these aerial balls, trying to look for those headers. His target men haven't been as effective. In fact, when they got on the ball, they curled it wide, but Artibira strikes 2. 2-2 up right now. Back to the draw, back to level pegging. Now it's pretty much anybody's game at this point in time. Pretty about who can maintain the mental fortitude the most. Mobizilla, of course, will have the little bit of an ace in the hole, considering that he scored at the very end of the game last time. And what a block. Thought for sure that was going into the back of the net, but it's kept out by the keeper.
It does indeed. But yeah, that was really good save hopefully to keep things even. But this attack is still going into action. He passes, but unfortunately it is going to get blocked and intercepted over there. Inteko on the run. That wing also is available for a through ball, but unfortunately the pressure coming in from that midfielder, Barella, who is a very good player and key role when it comes down to Mobizilla. We've seen him using quite a lot when it comes down to those defense line.
Yep. Just to pay. What can he do here? 20 minutes left of normal play, Arrow. Don't have much time left. And so if he doesn't get this attack through, Mobi, gonna be worried. But he finds all the space in the world. Oh my goodness, what a place to be. Pitch perfect timing and positioning. Gets himself the goal. Memphis puts him ahead. 20 minutes left, and we have 3-2 in favor of Mobizilla. So close in this game. On aggregate, this is a very, very sad 5-4, but what a game it's been between these two gentlemen.
It has indeed. It's been a really saucy one to begin this evening. Still on ball. Arthi finds Inteka, and now back to Valvedra, and he can control this to his advantage. Try get an opening, which it does look like he could potentially find one now, but unfortunately that defense line's there. It hits onto him, and we are just going to go into a little bit of a goal kick over here. But wow, the two legs that we have from these two players, very much entertaining, very much aggressive from both of them. And, you know, maybe we start to see that the defense from both teams just need to improve a little bit, because they're finding a lot of openings in areas that, you know, shouldn't be existing.
Yeah, a little bit leaky, and the defense, and a lot of goals that have come through that, you know, on better days might have been defended against. But as it stands right now, Mobizilla, he's just hoping to clean up his defense faster than Atibira can. Ati needs to be able to exploit him in the short amount of time they have left. Gonna be that goal kick you mentioned. And of course, both teams are gonna be making a suite of changes, bring in some fresh legs. The last thing you want is for fatigue to be the reason that a goal gets through. So now, with the very end of the game, Mobizilla, let's see what he can make happen here. It has taken off Fakir, so one of the biggest weapons is no longer available for him. But at the same time, bringing in some of these more defensive-oriented players might help out towards the end of this game here, Arrow.
I mean, this is exactly what he needs. He needs to keep that, you know, the lead that he already has. Try keep the pressure present as well. But Arthi not giving him any way. Just a strong wall. But now Saint on the run, and he can get an opening onto Torreira if he can find him over there, trying to get a pass. But this is a corner. This is some hope still for Arthi. Sends it into a pass, and now onto Saint to forward.
Ooh! What?
What a save! What a reaction from Manuel Neuer to get onto that ball, and this is a potential counter. Isak trying to find the space between him and the defender. Needs to pause a little bit. Double man marking coming out from Arthi, and he does so successfully. And here's another attack. Torre very much quick on pace, but unfortunately that is going to get blocked. And another counter attack for us over here.
This feels like deja vu. We've been here before. Mobizilla at the end of a game looking for a goal to really put this one to bed. Will he find it is the question. He's up 3-2 right now. Just needs the one. Oh man, heartbreak for Atibira. Prevented yet again from being able to score a goal. And he just has to try and do it the hard way. He has stopped this attack. Oh, maybe not. Spoke too soon. Already back on the ball here, Mobizilla. He's looking at the clock. He knows that he has all the time in the world to keep control of this ball, maintain possession. No shame in game management, my friend. And let's see if he can keep it up. 2 minutes. Is this going to be enough? Mobizilla looks like he's got it. Looks like he's done it. Doesn't seem like Atibira can do anything about this. Doesn't want to go too far forward in case he leaves a hole that can be exploited by Mobi. He's still going to try for it now. He's in the box. He gets the shot. Memphis to pay. Puts it beyond all doubt. Gets the next goal. It was Arturo Vidal even that came in there. 4-2 in the second game. Going to wind up being a very grand 6-4 on aggregate. Incredible game between these two gentlemen. And wow, Atibira might not have won, but definitely announced himself, even though Mobizilla ends up taking the W.
I know, ladies. I was looking at that game, and for a second I was confused because I didn't flip or the jersey flip. So I was like, wait a second. who's winning. I'm not particularly sure who's winning, but I think Artibira definitely gave a great showing of himself and letting everybody know that he's not a pushover in this league. And if you want to go to Artibira, you definitely have to come with your A game. I think Mobizilla definitely was pushed to the limit there, guys. Arrow, I want to know what's your take on that particular match? What did we just witness?
We witnessed greatness from both players. I have to give it to Arthur. He did manage to score at least and get in a couple good goals as well. I mean, even the cross and headers, like he's just a very good tactical and skilled player when it comes down to it. But then it was Mobizilla who managed to come through with a fantastic 6-4, and he did handle the pressure well for himself, and to end things draw in the first leg, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed these two players over here.
Totally, we definitely enjoyed that game. But, ladies and gentlemen, the action doesn't stop now. We are not waiting. We are going straight into another match. But first of all, Snare's going to talk to us about the tables. What are we looking at right now? What has Moby been able to do?
So with the victory, that Mobizilla copped with a very hard-fought game, he's managed to do two things. Firstly, put himself into the top 4 with a positive win right now. 0 on the goal difference in its entirety, but that's acceptable, having the points that he needs at the end of the day. On the other side, though, Artibira sadly drops even further at the bottom of the table with a pretty astonishing goal difference against them. Obviously, the Beast game did not help, but today was a very good affair, and it could really have done a number on the goal difference had things gone differently for him. But now he's overcome or had to deal with 2 challenges already, and it doesn't look like it gets any easier for Artibira. So starting to get a bit worried for him in this tournament. But Mobizilla, I'm also starting to feel a bit more confidence in him. The fact that a low-scoring player was able to post up high goals in a low-scoring FIFA makes me feel very, very happy for the evolution that we've been seeing Mobizilla going on in these last few months. And he might actually be playoff contender, especially because, as you can see on the table, Young Savage, defending champion, isn't really doing so hot right now in the Umzansi Esports League.
Yes, the league has definitely opened up to show us that, listen, nobody's safe except your name is the Beast Bianchi. But even at that, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready for a really, really, really exciting match between 2 players. This is Masoom. This is Deevak. Iro, tell us what we're looking at. What do we expect from these 2 players?
Honestly, Masoom for me is the better player in this situation. Deevak did have a tough situation last time in Umzansi in the previous season, but things have changed. It's a whole new FIFA 2022, and I'm hoping that we're gonna get a balanced out game and not really a dominating one coming out from Masoom. But yeah, we will just have to wait and see what these 2 individuals will be able to present for us. It's going to be an interesting slow game. I say a slow game between these 2 players.
The pace of this season's FIFA. I mean, the new mechanics that have come in have sort of changed the approach a lot of players have to the game, Snare. So, what would your specific observation be about the way the new mechanics in the game and how it's changed?
One of the big things that we've seen, and we actually got an example of it in this game, is the fact that in previous FIFAs, in particular FIFA 21, trying to score off of crosses was honestly most of the time a non-starter unless you got it like and lashed it into the ball. But getting headers was very difficult. Very often, that's how we saw the short corner meta start to develop in previous FIFAs. Now you can actually score off of crosses. We get to see that a lot of players are now prioritizing that in their actual passage of play. If you can get the ball to a target man, an Isak, an Nseka, like we just saw, then cool, do it. It actually can yield you dividends, can get you goals now. Goalkeepers are a lot better. So that also changes up how everybody approaches attacks, right? It's not a thing of where, all right, as long as we overload the defenders, we are guaranteed basically to get a goal. Now, overloading the defenders, not really enough. You have to be in the perfect position as well to get these goals forward. And that kind of makes the game a bit more chaotic, right? Because perfect positions don't come along. So you have to take, by necessity, more chances to try get past that goalkeeper. Because even in that perfect position, he can still pull out like an insane save. So that affects players like Masoom and Deevak, players who we've known in the past to be very much circumspect about when they take their shots, only wanting to take them if they can guarantee a goal. In FIFA 22, no such thing. So that changes up how you approach the game, makes everybody a bit more adventurous than they would be otherwise.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, quick predictions, very quick predictions about to go into the match. Ira, what's your prediction for this match?
Masoom 2-1.
Batsum 2-1, Snare.
Deevak 2-1.
Deevak
3-2.
Okay.
3-2. Deevak 3-2.
Deevak 3-2. All right, listen, my prediction will probably be Vaxum.
Vaxum.
Vaxum 4-4 or something. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna leave you very capable hands of Ira, OG, and Snare as they talk you through the blow by bro. This is FIFA 21 at Umzansi Esports League Season 4.
Shout out to Dr. Sid, who Dr. Sid is ahead of the game. He knows that certain terms get you demonetized online, so he's not going to talk about the jabs. So talking about Vaxum, what a player, what a guy. But we're in this now, and oh my goodness, very early on into this game, doesn't seem like we'll have quarter from anybody. Nobody wants to come back off the back foot. Almost a very early goal coming in there. Unfortunately for us, it's still going to be level pegging between Masoom and Deevak. This is interesting, right? Because it's also like a oh, wait, hold on. Early goal. Never mind. We can't even build this one up. These guys just want to go in directly. Quick goal comes out. We now see that unfortunately for our main man here, one goal behind. Deevak, I still got time, buddy. I still make this happen.
Yeah, this is a very early goal coming in from Masoom, but you know, these are inter-house players. You know, they represent the same organization. But it does look like he does manage to get in. Oh, but no, the play to run and get the ball ahead of him was just a bit too much from Masoom. So he does lose that one over there. And he's playing so aggressive, though.
Wonderfully playing there on the edge of the box, edge of the pitch. Still trying to build this one up slowly. Finally does have the position. This might be good. Very nice back pass there. And look how progressive Masoom is being on tracking these players, making sure that there's very little space to run on the ball. Just N'Golo Kante by himself can do this. One of the few players in the game that can make that happen. That's why he's on the team. And oh my goodness, Deevak tried to go in for a screamer outside the box. Almost made it happen. The 12th man prevented it. That would have been goal of the season for sure had it gone in.
Yeah, for sure. Neymar with the finesse shot going in at that distance would have been so amazing to see. But now he's taking out his players out of position, and this is just given all the freedom to run on the wing into a player who manages to get the ball. But unfortunately, the touch is not there for him. Still on ball possession. Masoom managing to get the ball yet again onto Neymar, Mbappe, and we know Mbappe as well is just as an amazing player. But unfortunately, the defense coming from Deevak is going to look quite a juicy. Bafana, who's an amazing defender as well. Varane keeping the ball onto the defense here, and this could possibly, you know, show some pressure that is being present here onto Deevak.
Yeah, I feel like he's trying to slow the game down. He's being really overwhelmed right now by the pace that Masoom is setting everywhere on the pitch. So he's trying to just keep it very, very slow, play a bit more patiently. This is similar to what we were talking about in the previous matchup, where if you're the underdog, it behooves you to play more defensively and patiently. But look, oh no! Offside!
Offside.
Oh, that is so sad. Twice now. Deevak first denied by the post, now denied by the referee's whistle. Cannot catch a break here in this opening leg.
No, he can't. And this is just unfortunate for him. You know, he started very aggressive early on, and he almost got a goal over there. But unfortunately, it's just not finishing. And hopefully, we get to see an improved Deevak after this attack that is in play right now. But Masoom is going to get into a sticky situation where he's unable to make the final pass to potentially secure that. And Mbappe coming all the way to the midline areas and still putting in pressure onto the team. But now it does look like there's an opportunity here for Deevak to sort of come through in with a play. Pass is going to get blocked, and it's still pressure very much onto Masoom here.
Masoom has to play it out from the back, like you mentioned, dropping back with Mbappe even to ensure that he had the numbers on the defense. Might have been a very difficult situation otherwise. One of the big things I've been seeing about this matchup is whenever Masoom is on the ball and can play at a very explosive pace, Deevak feels very uncomfortable. He seems forced into slowing the game down. So we're most likely going to see that whenever he has the ball, it's going to be much more slow, thought-out, build-up play rather than these deep progressive passes that Masoom has been going for. We do still see that Deevak has that attacking prowess. provided he can find himself in the right position. Trying to open that up now for himself. Almost got through. Manages to hold the ball up. He gets on the other side of it. No! Can't run on time. Not able to release the player in position. So immediately back on the defense. What will he do here to try and keep this at only 1-0 instead of at 2?
A good rally play from Deevak in the defense. You know, he cut the player back to the midline. But I say this, and now Pogba's running away with this one. But you can see, like, Deevak is playing so composed right here. Maybe just a little bit undercomposed because of his passing. But I'm liking the way he set up his defense, you know, to not really give in a open pass or open run. Really good play on Deevak. But Masoom taking advantage of what is being seen right here, and he could potentially get in. Fortunately, he is going to lose ball possession, and these passing need to be more decisive coming in from Deevak, because he is putting himself in a sticky situation where that ball possession means you can't get in a goal because you're opening up defense lines and so forth. And we could potentially now see Mbappe get an open goal, and the skills coming in. It's the it's a save though onto a corner. Gonna pass it in here, take it all the way to the midline, and potentially not where he expected the ball to go to, but still on ball possessions now.
Doing his best right now to still make sure he gets his way through. Masoom, this time around, Mbappe gets closed off immediately as the step over plays are starting. Not going to give him any space to progress. Masoom almost had his goal. Deevak said no, keeping it at 1-0. And Deevak not only saying no to that goal attempt, but no to the possession game in its entirety. Removes the ball away from Masoom, and they will be able to close out this half. Deevak, at this point in time, back and down with 1 goal, but he can still come back. We've already seen today, in fact, that 1-2 goals are deficits that you can recover from. And Masoom knows this as well. He's not going to be very comfortable with himself. And one of the things that we've seen from him is that because he's been utilizing his team in pretty much all positions on the pitch, that also means that these players will get tired a lot faster than they would otherwise. So he has to be playing with a lot more care about the energy levels of these players. So if he's not getting these goals early within this half, it can later on in the half become a good advantageous position to be in for Deevak if he can just hold for a while and then try and get a goal later.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, with that ending of the first half, it was really Masoom running all over Deevak, and you know, Deevak not making decisive passing, and it's gonna hurt you a little bit. And hopefully, we get to see a better sort of direct passing coming in from him in the second half over here. For the meantime, it does look like it's quite juicy, but yet again, fortunately, not finding that open pass. And now a counter and a good ball onto Nedved over here. Still on the wing, but Hakimi potentially going to keep him out of that run. Neymar going back onto the wing. Hakimi trying to join in. It does look like that pressure is present. The defending is quite good from Deevak, but ball possession still onto Masoom.
Masoom has a lot of the ball right now, but Deevak has been able to soak up this pressure. He's playing very well here on the back foot, although he just got immediately passed behind there. This might be a bad position to be in, and indeed it is. Mbappe gets the ball, turns onto it, immediately into the back of the net. Will never miss from that position. Kylian Mbappe makes it 2-0 for Masoom. And Deevak, he thought he was starting to make some progress with his new direction of defense, but makes one small mistake, gets immediately exploited. Much harder game to play it back from. And probably now he just needs to just throw it onto the wall, right? Because whatever, if he's able to score 2 goals, Masoom might be able to score more. You need to get some goals of your own. And he tries for it, but the goalkeeper says no.
Hopefully we get to see a juicy corner coming in from Deevak. Goes in for the possession to try open the defense line. For the most part, it does look like it worked out, but no, unfortunately, the touch and balance is not there onto the player, and he can't get that play. You can see now, really, Masoom trying to slow things down, brings his players to the goal line, but this does look really well for him. And a mistake like that, bringing out your CB, means it's open run, it's open season for goal. Neymar trying to find a position onto Nedved, and Nedved's shot is going to get blocked, but still onto him right now, and this could potentially be a goal. Mbappe making a run. Fortunately, his pass is going to get decepted.
Ooh, my goodness. That came so close to going into the back of the net. Deevak able to keep it out, keeps it at 2-0 right now, but the way it's panning out, Masoom is in complete and total control. Deevak still not able to really crack the defense. We've seen some signs of life from him, some good attacks, but nothing really that would have a real impact in this game. No major consequences just yet. Fofana coming very far up. Ginola on the ball, turns for the shot, drew out the defender, but unfortunately for him, the keeper still on form. He'll be able to get himself a corner, but we've seen that Masoom from this position, always able to come back on the defense, always able to play in such a way as to keep the ball out. So he's not really stressed. And we already see Deevak forced into trying to laboriously carry this one into the box, where Masoom has already been prepared to overload his defense, because he doesn't need to really wait for a counter-attack, right? He's already ahead at this point. No worries from him.
Yeah, the first leg honestly looking quite strong, but Ganola almost making a play. And unfortunately, he's just going to find himself cut out. Dembele on the ball. And Hakimi back to Dembele. Dembele trying to make a run on the wing. Oh, ball possession now onto Mbappe, and Mbappe very much can make an open pass here to Neymar. Neymar onto the ball, and he's going to get a shot in, and misses just by a hairline. Oh no, it's a save. A leg in, and it goes in for a corner.
Keeper on form, on point yet again, and this corner, once more, is pressure. Keeper, relax. Calm down, goalkeepers. It's just a game, FIFA 22. Just chill out. Man, at this point in time, Deevak is being saved primarily by the goalkeeper. Absolutely man of the match for sure for him. But it's not enough, right? You can defend as many goals as you want to, but you're not putting numbers on the board. You're never going to be able to win this game from behind. And though he's been able to keep this clean, he's not going to feel very happy about the fact that it's the goalkeeper doing this, not his own defensive efforts, because it means that one day if Masoom is able to get the right position, then it guarantees a goal he can't do much against. But he's trying to make something happen for himself here. Ginola, who's he going to find? He picks out Mbappe, gets him on the edge of the box, runs into position himself. He's waiting, holding up the ball. Mbappe doesn't get released, so Ginola's forced to try and play alone. Doesn't get anywhere by himself, but ball is still on Neymar. Waiting for this. Ginola, the tension is high, almost got past, but the defender says nope. Good tackle, prevents it from going in, and now Masoom is immediately back on the counter-attack here with a very nice dribble already.
Yeah, definitely. Something I'm seeing in error, which we'll talk about now. After this attack is complete or is lost out, going all the way back to the defense line, now back to Pogba, Varane. You can see him play it quite slowly to try open a pass or two for himself, and it does so indeed. Mbappe with the ball, playing it slow, gets the skill in with the movement. Back to Kante, and Kante onto Neymar. Neymar can easily get the ball to Mbappe, but no. Unfortunately, that's going to get blocked off. And now Masoom is on the back line, trying to defend. But yeah, I am seeing a huge error coming in from Deevak, where he's using that defense line way too aggressive, pulling out their players out of positioning. That could potentially open, so much passing lanes, because you're now cutting a defense line into 3, sometimes into 2. So hopefully we get to see a better play from him. But he is playing a lot more aggressive in these final moments, trying to get himself a goal. And unfortunately, it does look like this is going to be the final attack for the first leg, with Masoom still on the ball. Hakimi trying to make a run. No, nice block coming in from Varane.
Hakimi, so good in this game. Well, yeah. We'll wind out right now. A 2-goal lead at the moment right now for Masoom, the Season 2 champion. Definitely making himself known and reminding us of his real championship medal. Played very well in this particular tie so far, and he played very well from the onset, right? We see a lot of times that these players will start playing with a very aggressive stance to begin the game, but then end up dropping off, or they just lack the quality to be able to maintain that same high degree of quality throughout the game itself. Not a problem from Masoom. From the jump, immediately, he was on go, and not just in the attack, but on the defense as well, forcing Deevak every single time he was on the attack himself into very uncomfortable ways of trying to approach that attack. Didn't really feel like Deevak, it's only 2-0 at the end of the day, but didn't really feel like Deevak was actually allowed to play any FIFA 22 at all.
Yeah, no, you're seeing like Masoom not really even using his defense line at all. You want to keep your defense line in position as much as possible here, Snap, because the moment you pull out your RB, it's now your CB trying to cover up that formation, and there goes a pass through, and we are seeing it constantly happen here with Masoom, where he's able to get those passes in and so forth. Hopefully, we get to see a better finishing from Masoom. He is getting a lot of these shots onto the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper in those positions are going to save ridiculous amounts of shots on target over there. But for Deevak himself, his attack is looking juicy. It's just that defense line from Masoom, as well as the attacking, that just means he is going to be at the back end, not winning the game, the first leg over there.
See what he can make happen though in the second leg, as we are underway right now. Kickoff has commenced. 90 minutes. Deevak needs a lot of good play. Masoom, though, still on form. Good defense from Deevak. Seems like he's adjusted a little bit. Not getting drawn into the traps of movement that Masoom was setting for him in the box. And he's able to get a very key tackle. Allows him to play the ball to the other side of the pitch. Neymar, though, dispossessed just before he can get the pass off. That has been one thing that Deevak has been struggling a bit with, right? Like the timing for when to release the players on the run has been problematic for him across this leg. For Masoom, no such problems, as Dembele gets immediately on the other side of a ball that came quickly from Neymar. He's just looking so clean today.
You need to pause, slow down a little bit here for Deevak, because he's making runs that could have passed over the defense line of Masoom, but unfortunately that is going to get catched out quickly, and the ball possession is back onto the leader, who's winning the game right now. Masoom 2-0 as it stands, and that was in the first leg, but a lot can happen right here. You have nothing to lose if you go all out in this game right here for Deevak, but he needs to slow down that pace, make calculated passing, calculated runs, and just like we are seeing from Masoom, who's managed to break open, trying to get in a pass, but almost gets a corner, but he tries to keep it into the play, and he's just going to lose that one for himself.
This is the one moment where I wish Deevak had accelerated the play a bit, because all the players being forward, expecting the goal, left them a little bit weak in the midfield and on defense, so he could have tried to overload the run, but understandably didn't feel confident in himself of rushing players out. And like you mentioned, whenever he does that, he leaves his shape very compromised. So rather not, rather play this one slowly out. He is still in the final third here. Trying to get into a good position in the box. Mbappe gets on the ball in good space. Neymar, he's now on it. Steps over, gets the shot. Goes out for a corner. Came close. Goes for the short corner itself. Will he be able to get past his man? Yes, he does. He's in. Deevak goes for the shots in a very crowded box. And it ends up just bouncing away. That was a bit ambitious here from the bravado man, but still is in possession of the ball, so still will have another bite at the cherry here, Errol.
I mean, he's still here. He's still keeping the attack, and maybe we're going to see a goal. It is on to Neymar, but Neymar's going to lose the ball. But the pressure is still on Masoom. If he's able to get it clear, which it does look like he's managed to do so successfully. Mbappe is on the run in a way so forward. Do you see how Masoom just played slow, tries to pass back to his midfielders, tries to open up that defense line, and now we are seeing it being widespread over here with the players. But Pogba back to Mbappe. Mbappe cutting back just to make sure that they are able to continue this passing game we are seeing from Masoom. He has the win so far in the hands right here, and this could potentially go over to him, but a good defense, block off that attack, and now you could see a counter coming in, and Hernandez, he's running with the players. No one really making some serious runs. He's only got 3 players up front right here. Now we're starting to see the players make some runs into a forward attack, but it could be tough for him.
What a tackle coming in. Woo! Masoom came to play. Definitely warmed up today. Had some wheat bakes in the morning, and he's feeling very fresh. Great tackle to prevent what might have been a great goal, because Deevak, one of the few times that he's played with that additional pace like you're mentioning, but gets snuffed out. Doesn't have the same... I mean, you're already criticizing this in terms of the first leg, right? The somewhat haphazard passes that are coming in from him without having the pure class that's coming out from these passes from Masoom. I mean, Masoom is making passes in the box to target players and getting there pretty much every single time. But Deevak has struggled, and yet again, the struggles will continue. Unable to get the necessary power on the ball, so it gets easily snatched up by the defender. Now Masoom looking for a goal. Nedved, he's on it. Is he going to track back for anybody? Doesn't need to, because Marquinhos is going to force out the corner kick.
Yeah, and it does look like, the advantage here now is on to Masoom. Tries to go in for a finesse shot, but that's going to be blocked, and this is a perfect opportunity if he's able to skill his way through. But no, slows things down, and that's going to get intercepted. Now this is going to be tough. Goes in for a throw-in. Now players reset. Players are in their position. Masoom can try and make an attack play to his advantage. Trying to play onto the win. It does look like now we're going to see a ball back onto the throw-in for Masoom. Masoom taking it back all the way to Hakimi. Playing it slow. Trying to get into a guaranteed spot over here, and this will be really good for him. And we are seeing a double marking coming from Deevak, trying to put the pressure on. This is looking good for Deevak so far in terms of this defense. But what will happen here, Sneh?
Anything can happen, because once you get one of these Masoom players in position, they turn out really well. But this time around, they were able to very comprehensively get the ball out. Neymar gets on top of the ball with the pass, able to get it forward up onto the pitch. Unfortunately, I'm not going to see it into the back of the net. Came quite close though. Very good run there from Deevak. How can he carry this energy forward? Neymar on the ball again. Who is he going to be able to pick out? Can he find anybody? Masoom being very intelligent in terms of how he's defending here in the box, and also wasting time. Knows the first half's about to end. No spectacular shot attempt coming out from Deevak. So 0-0 for the first half, still keeping it at 2-0 on aggregate for Masoom. And though he might not have gotten a goal for himself, considering how much slower and how much more composed he's been playing, not really searching for those goals, I'm sure he's pretty happy with how the half has went. In the same way that Deevak going to be quite disappointed in himself, that though he's fixed some of the issues with his team, it hasn't been enough to actually get him a goal on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Masoom, like you say, is playing a more decisive game when it comes down to his passing, his positioning, and so forth. And like you say, he's not really looking for an open goal. But if it does come, he will take advantage of that. But we're not seeing anything surreal from Masoom besides having the ball and defending to his best abilities. The other point of view for Deevak, it's trying to get into the box, and there's just no opening for him. That's what I love about Masoom, is that he's able to calculate exactly where to be and how to move. And we see that speed decisioning to try block off any passes come in. And how many has he intercepted already? Yes, Snare, just against Deevak. It's crazy.
Countless amounts. He's just always, he's reading the future, man. There's a reason we call him the Iceman. Nerves of steel, pure calculations, like you mentioned, that he's able to make. And can he calculate a defense against this, though? Because this is a promising position to be in for Deevak. Who can he pick out? How does he get forward is the question for himself. He has brought in Wijnaldum to replace Fofana in midfield. And, went for the early shot. I'm not sure that was necessary. Could have tried to play this out a bit more. Sadly, he went for it. Doesn't really go his way. So this now might release Masoom. He's finding some space for his attackers to run. But Deevak, oh my goodness, this might be his turn. This might be his opportunity. Masoom, no!
The touch is bad.
Oh, bad touch.
The touch is bad. Ends that attack quickly. Double marking now. Keeping the pressure alive here. Onto the wing. Nedved trying to find someone. Goes back to Hernandez. He can feel the pressure present from Deevak. But he's going to leave himself a bit in a vulnerable position. Taking out his entire CB. And it's open shot. But no! Onto the goalkeeper's hands. Into the corner. A little pause here now. Into the advantage of Kante. Kante can try and find a position. Dembele back to Kante. Surprised he's not offside. Marquinhos, he can't take a shot with him. It's not going to go anywhere. But into another corner kick.
Corner after corner after corner after corner. Deevak has just been saved and bailed out by the goalkeeper time and time again on the defense. Somehow it ends up working out again. But this time, oh my goodness, what a place to get the ball. Not that many red shirts forward, but commensurately not as many black shirts as he's used to being on the back. Can he somehow keep this ball? Wijnaldum ends up giving it up. He tried to evade the slide tackle, but in doing so, put forth another bad touch. gives it up. Promising situation yet again for Deevak, gets snuffed out. And that feels like it's been just the tenor of this game. Every time something good seems to happen for Deevak, it gets immediately snuffed out. On the bright side, though, still able to keep it 0-0 in the back, but the closer we take towards 90 minutes, we're at 65 right now. The more and more it seems that Deevak is running out of ideas, running out of options for what to do here against Masoom.
I mean, it does look like he can have an open pass right now. Will he play it to his advantage? Unfortunately not. As Mbappe loses that ball back onto Masoom. Masoom with almost a clear run. But it does still look like he has the possession. It is going to go into a throw-in.
How does Masoom still have that ball? Okay.
Yeah, crazy things here, but still has it. But it's good from Deevak. He tries to go in for the slide. Leaves his position on the left back open. Dembele with the run. It's a pass in, but a pass to the wrong player. Because he is offside and it is going to be intercepted either way. And now, back onto Deevak. Deevak can counter here. He needs to get the goal in. And his passes just keep getting caught. This is nothing Deevak can do. At this point, with the ball possession not in his favor, his passing not going as calculated or decisive. It's just going to be a GG's and a wrap-up, I think, for leg number 2.
Not looking positive, not looking good right now. He still has a little bit of time to rewrite his history, rewrite his destiny. It's looking difficult. Achraf Hakimi takes out Mbappe. He's going to try carry it forward, finds Ginola. Ginola gets the space, Ginola gets the turn. Ginola gets the goal.
No way.
All right, we have already seen a comeback in the last several dying moments of the game. Are we going to see it happen again here, Aero? One goal in it. It's only a one-goal cushion now for Masoom. No way he's not starting to sweat, even if just a little bit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally the time here for Deevak to take advantage of that goal. But that pass, it's looking good. He decides to pass instead of take the shot. And he's going to lose the ball. That is not what we want from Masoom. A clear open shot. He goes in for the pass and is still onto him. He can play this with a perfect position. Still keeping it. Dembele gets the pass in. Trying to find an open shot, but Varane on him like glue. And he gets the ball back into the play. Oh man, Snare, what has Masoom done? He could have had a comfortable lead with that one goal.
Old habits die hard. That used to be his primary strategy back in FIFA 21. Whenever he got in that position, pass it off to another player to guarantee the goal. Jackknife it past the keeper, but unfortunately, you don't need to employ those habits in FIFA 22, and you'll get hard punished if you try, and we saw it there. Masoom, let's go. He's still in the lead right now. That one goal that he has an advantage. Still at the present moment keeps him in charge, but man, he might come to regret it. As Ginola is inside the box. Ginola's got the space. Why did you try to chip it? No, but he still has the ball. Laurent, can he get the shot off? No, he can't, but Ginola doesn't give up the possession just yet. Mistakes on the one side, mistakes on the other, but a bigger mistake. Ginola!
Oh no!
Oh my God, how did that happen? What a mistake from Masoom.
Both players making mistakes, but Masoom, unfortunately, finding him in that play means now that it is tie and only about a couple seconds on the clock here. What will we see from Masoom? Will he be able to get the final attack in is the question. There's only literally 1 minute overall time, and what is going to be the added time, we'll have to wait and see. For the second leg over here, it could potentially just end in this final attack on a tie, because Deevak is keeping up that pressure, but he's finding in a position which is going to get intercepted, and that's going to be a wrap on game number.
Not yet.
Still.
Not yet.
It's still.
Not yet. Okay.
Now it is. Takes a clear, and that's the GG's, man. What a comeback from Deevak. What a comeback.
Deevak comes back against the Iceman, melts him, takes him 2-2 up, took him 2-0 the entire game. Not just a comeback in terms of the scoreline, but what a change in playstyle, right? He looked like the much worse player in game number 1, but in leg 2, man, Deevak leveled up, and Season 2 champion, and apparently not good enough because it's only going to be a draw today.
Yep.
Listen, Guys, what did I say?
You did say
What did I say?
vacuum.
Vacuum, I'm telling you. Because, I thought about it hard and long, and in my spirit's mind just said to me, it's going to be a tie. And you know what it was going to, I was like, vacuum is going to win. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, Masoom, Deevak, 2-2 on the score. They share the spoils and the points. And we are going to be taking a look in a second at what effect that has on the leaderboard. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Deevak Masoom 2-2 sharing the points, and let us see how that affects the overall leaderboard. Ira, talk us through this.
Deevak, he's now in second place, but it's tie on tie. I mean, even the goal difference is the same. So, second for Deevak, third for Masoom, and Mobizilla is in fourth over there with that good victory onto Arthi. But what a successful evening for the people at home watching us, because there was just so much lively action happening for us here for the FIFA.
Yes, lively action. Very quickly before we jump out of here, Snare, I want to get your thoughts on the games for today and what we should be looking forward to tomorrow.
So one of the things that we definitely saw from today, and we've been seeing it throughout the entire time, right, is adaptation. We saw it in game one, we saw it in game two. Mobizilla willing to wait, absorb pressure against Arti, come back and use what he's learned to play a lot better. We saw this again in this matchup. Deevak getting handled in game number one by Masoom, coming back strong in game two, not only to come back with his own goals, but also to put pressure back on Masoom himself. So I think the theme that we've been seeing a lot is there's so many different ways to actually play this game right now. Previous iterations of FIFA have had legitimately best play styles. It's like you should be doing this every single game. But now it feels like there's a lot more dynamism, a lot more expansion. So what I'm expecting to see keep going forward is that each time a player plays a leg, they have to legitimately play a different style. One style of FIFA might not actually be enough anymore in FIFA 22. You might need two or three so that you can pull those out when your opponent adapts to the initial style you brought forth in the same way that we saw Deevak do today. So everybody needs to be on the lookout for those kind of things and be on the lookout, obviously, for both bravado players, because in different legs, they both look excellent. And it looks
All
like it's going
right.
to be a very difficult thing.
All right. Thank you very much, Snare. Thank you, ROG. We have to head to a break because very soon we're jumping into the PUBG mobile side. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the FIFA 22 segment of the Umzansi Esports League. This is season 4 brought to you by Northern Gaming. My name is Dr. Sid, and I will see you right after this break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Umzansi Esports League Season 3. My name is Dr. Sid, and I'm welcoming you back with my guys, Pachi and DK, because we are here to talk about PUBG Mobile. It is a hot seat today because the action is getting hotter and hotter, and the teams need to step up, otherwise, they're going home. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the business of the day, let's find out what the business of the day is going to be via the schedule. Haha.
Well, here's the business of the day. Of course, if you've been keeping up with us all throughout today, then of course you've been watching that FIFA. But it is time for the PUBG segment. And of course, to start that off, we have our Erangel, our Sanhok, our Miramar. We've got everything from close quarters to long range and in the middle. Of course, we start off with our quote-unquote in the middle map, our, as we said, bread and butter map. And I'm not, every time I say it's our bread and butter map, I sit back and wonder, I'm not actually the biggest fan of just bread and butter. Maybe it should be something like peanut butter syrup, or it's the spaghetti and meatballs, or like something nice that people really like, because we like Erangel. We like it a lot.
And here is our prize pool, ladies and gentlemen. This prize pool is a big prize pool. $17,500 with $15,000 for the PUBG Mobile segment, $2,500 for the FIFA 22 segment. That is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lot of money that is up for grabs for winner chicken dinners and goals. But now we're all about the winner chicken dinners. So let's take a look, very quick look at the leaderboard of what is happening today and see how everything is gonna go. Yes, DK, tell us about this.
Well, as we can obviously see, we know we've gone through the whole name, numbers, and flags thing, all right? So, but what we're seeing, of course, is that we have the players from Influence Rage Africa sitting 1 point away from breaking into that century play, right? So we had coming up in last week a pretty impressive performance from them, as we can see, of course, 3 chicken dinners on board. Then we have the players from KHK sitting up in second place, also with 1 chicken. But Atrox, I mean, they positioned up here in third. No chickens to see just yet, but they're holding strong with 71 points on board. And then, of course, as we make our way down, we see a few more chickens distributed to the players there from Team Unique, Lag Esports, as well as the Magicians. And then we've got the players there from Slime 4KT sitting all the way down in 7th place alongside Sincerity Esports. Now, this is not usually position that we really see Slime 4KT in. I mean, we would have expected them to be up there rubbing shoulders with Influence Rage KHK, for instance. But, strangely enough, we see them sitting at the bottom end of that first space. Now, as we move on to the next one, we can see, of course, the players from Rila inside are also quite an interesting position. We don't really see them in this region all that often. They do have a winner chicken dinner on board, 51 points in total, and of course a very good balance when it comes to placement points and kills distribution. The same can be said, of course, for the players there from C Esports, who we know is coming in from the Ivory Coast. And a little bit further down, over in 16th place, we've got G3 Temper. Now, we've actually spoken about this previously, where maybe the teams are coming in with a bit of a surprise attack, potentially. We're not quite sure when exactly it is going to happen, if it should happen. But this is definitely not a spot that we see Temper sitting in all too often. So hopefully they start to bring things a little bit closer together, just get everything back to working form as they look to advance and, of course, get themselves out of the danger zone, because this third page, this is the danger zone. As we move to the next phase, the teams finding themselves on the third page will get relegated once again. So I'm expecting to see the teams on here really step it up, push. I mean, Seven Sins, Arts of Killing, we've seen some phenomenal gameplay come from them, as well as the players there from Natural Killers, Rainbow Six, Rain from Hell, Young Thunder, BBC Fear, and Solo. So we're just waiting for that to come to fruition as they progress through this weekend. Now looking to acquire a few more points on the board, looking to push themselves back up, because having the team sitting in the second round, right? They didn't find themselves here by accident. They worked so hard in the previous round, performing, playing, just stepping up. and earning their way up to here. So it's going to be quite interesting to see which teams at the end of this weekend, where they will kind of be positioned. We know, of course, as we make our way through this weekend, that should mark around about the halfway point of this round. So yeah, the teams need to get the focus back on bringing in those points, and the sooner they start with that, the less stress they have as we get closer to the end of this round.
Of course, we're looking at all that excitement. Well, up next, we need to take a look at the teams that will be facing each other today. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the teams of the day while Patchy takes it away.
Yeah, let's quickly skim through those groups. So, of course, it is Group A versus Group B, and that does mean that we've got a very interesting situation on our hands because DK, you were mentioning that we don't generally see teams like G3 sitting all the way down, below on second pages and third pages and things like that. And I mean, when we take a look at the groups, we notice that the names here are not the names that we expect. In other words, last week we already had teams like G3 have a chance and an opportunity to put quite a few points on the board. They had quite a few games last week. And now, as we begin the new week of games, of course, we're not starting off with them. So right here, we have a chance for other teams to get ahead, to get further ahead of the already currently lagging behind teams, such as, but not limited to, G3. Now, if you turn your attention to the names that we're seeing at the moment, Seven Sins AOK is a team that I personally expect to be moving up. Seven Sins and BBC is another one. They absolutely need to be moving their way on up. Aphelion Apex, as you can see, another team that we don't generally see, but still a team that I want to step up. Influence Rage and Rila Insiders are two of the biggest teams that I think need to be performing right now, because if they're not, then they're going to be overtaken by some other teams. I mean, 7 AOK is already in a precarious position at the moment. And, they sort of need to kick it into gear a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Now, of course, as we move into those Group B squads, here we've got G3 Temper, which is one of those teams that absolutely needs to get things going. Zero Tolerance is the same. They're in the same boat at the moment. BBC, as I mentioned, another team that needs to get moving. And then, of course, as we move through, teams like maybe Unique can also potentially get some stuff done today. And it is of critical importance that they do so. Because like I said, at this point in time, if they don't start kicking into high gear, then they risk getting overtaken. And I mean, they definitely don't want that to happen. You don't want to drop out at this stage in the game, especially after making it through the first round. So it would certainly be a little bit disappointing if we saw some of those big names starting to drop out in round number 2. So as DK mentioned, we expect a little bit of a surprise attack coming through at some point. And of course, the way that happens is by making sure that you get those points. And as we've been pointing out week after week, it is placement points, yes, and it is also, most crucially, the balance between that and your ever-important kill points. So you can see those double digits for first, second, and third placement in every single match. You get nothing for 13th to 16th position, and then, of course, the 1 kill, 1 point is just super, super useful for teams that actually get out there and get things done.
So thinking of teams that are actually getting things done, I'm gonna ask DK. DK, who's gonna get things done today? We know, we did see G3 Temper way down at the bottom. We know teams need. I mean, we are nearing the final phases of this second round, and then we go into the final phases. Which one of these teams needs to step it up today?
Well,
no time to check time.
According to what we've seen historically speaking, right? Slime 4KT should be stepping it up, right? They are a team that we normally see up in those higher placements, so I would expect them to start dialing in and really getting to the point, kind of from this week moving forward, because we've got only a few more weeks left in this round. So, you want to try and secure those positions and, just bring back that performance that we've been seeing, that we know them for. Another team that I think is going to do good today is going to be C Esports. I was rooting for them in the previous round. Now continue on with the efforts, moving into this second round. But if we look a little bit further down the leaderboard, I definitely think that we could see something potentially coming in from the players of Rain from Hell and potentially even the Natural Killers.
Rain from Hell and the Natural Killers. That is actually a good list of names going forward, and I think they all need to have that level of consistency at this particular point of the game. Now, Patchy, I mean, we've looked at numbers, we've seen action. Some at some point you do have to throw some of these stats out the window and just look at what the players are doing in game. Now, in game for you, which one of these teams are you excited to see in the finals?
Well, in the finals, that's an interesting question. I absolutely, I obviously want to see our top names get through. I mean, one of the big sort of things that we've been following this season is, our Incorsi teams that have promoted into this season who have been doing fantastically well versus our sort of tried and true old boys from the previous season of Umzansi, and they've been going at it. And one of the best things to see is that both of those groups have just huge top performers. From the one side, we've got teams like G3, who are repeating champions from previous seasons. We've got 4KT, who just came back with an absolute whopper in the past. And then you've got new teams, like, for instance, C Esports, really coming up, making things happen. We also have teams like Influence Rage bring in their, experience through and whatnot. So it's really great to see this clash of the Titans. But personally, I favor the old dogs just a little bit more. I like to see the underdogs. I like to see the new guys come through. But I have a little bit more favor for the old dogs. So I like to see those guys go through. So I definitely like to see teams like G3. I'd like to see teams like 4KT for sure. Just because we absolutely know that they can give us quite a show for the finals. We've seen it many times before. We've seen some absolute bangers of finals. Crazy clutches, crazy things happening. So they really do bring that entertainment value with them, along with the solid experience that they have, just through the past of Umzansi.
Wow, this is going to be exciting. Like, I can't even wait. DK, very quickly, your predictions for this map.
For this map, I see Esports. That's the team. I've locked it in since round 1, so see Esports.
Okay, Patchy.
I think that despite the fact that we've had a little bit of a lax performance from our quote unquote old dogs, I would like to see G3 come back with a few points at least, because they were a little bit lax on our previous game. So I would like to see them come through, as well as Team Unique. I think they've also got something in store.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Sid leaving you in the hands of DK and Patchy, and I will see you after Erangel.
All right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. We have Erangel, our tried and true, our spaghetti and meatballs right here. It is a very low down flight path, taking us there from just to the side of Primorsk all the way over to Novo. So it's quite low. Hopefully we have at least one team who decides to go down to that island. Otherwise, I'm going to be sad all evening long. The rest of the teams, of course, making their way through, so we don't expect to see anything crazy. I mean, we expect, for instance, BBC to drop down there in Malta as they do. The rest of the teams getting into position. We'll probably see G3 go for farm and to the top of the Eastern Bridge, etc., etc. The real question is, DK, are we going to see that energy, that drive, or are we going to see some of these teams, continue to sort of reserve themselves? Because that's really what we were seeing last week. We were seeing teams on the G3 just being a little bit too reserved. And I mean, I guess we can understand that to an extent, because they don't need to put in their 100% because we know they're capable enough to get through, but they still need to, actually get through.
Yeah, but I mean, so the main thing that's a little bit of concern to me is if teams take a little bit more of a conservative approach too regularly, they could get stuck in that flow of things, and kind of lose that momentum that they are known for. So I think they just got to, just brush off the rust every now and again. Just come in with a strong play, strong performance. Just, show everyone why you are here, why we are making such a fuss about you. Just come in with that quick reminder. It only has to be for one game, because that's sometimes all you need to just step back in, get back into the flow of things, and continue to push forward and just find yourself in those opportune positions.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, speaking of opportune positions, we've already found a couple of opportune positions here as the teams have gotten into a little bit of a scuffle here and there across. Some decent quick drops, quick intent to kill, which is great to see. And you can see that there's some decent proximity to these teams as well. Looks like Rain from Hell and Influence going at it. Hainsley putting some shots into Jin, and Skull is also going to go down in the meantime. So we have some fights going on, and Rain from Hell has already dropped one of their players. And they need to get some healing done very, very quickly. Otherwise, they're at pretty big risk here. So let's have a look and see how this fight pans out. We've got Hainsley moving across into the thick of things, potentially looking for an angle here. Rain from Hell trying to recover a little bit from that initial assault. But Hainsley and Skulls, of course, separated on the other side of the road. So whoever wins the scuffle out. Oh, Hainsley taking a lot of damage there. Neon catches him out on the one side. So this is a little bit of a tough one as they go through the house. Mercury trying to defend the staircase, but can he bob and weave quick enough? No, there's too many players coming up the stairs, but he lands the shots anyway. Some nice defense.
Yeah, that was quite a beautiful play, if I'm being honest. I mean, the way that INF was just able to kind of funnel them in towards Mercury, that was just absolutely amazing, and that makes it so much easier. Yes, it was a good effort coming through, you know, pushing in from Rain from Hell as a whole complete squad, but the way that they were just funneled into that passage, onto that staircase, just worked out phenomenally for the side of INF.
Yeah, I thought for sure that double stack was going to be enough, but I mean that PP Bison was obviously just enough to make things happen and you know, keep those shots in, because whatever was going on there, he was just able to land the hits despite being on low HP and being the only defender of that particular spot. So yeah, just a well-played defense there. Like you said, a nice funneling coming through from them. And of course, as we turn our attention over towards the Rainbow Six squad team here and Rila Insiders, this is another team that was performing phenomenally in round one and dropped off a little bit as we have started round two. So they're looking for a little bit of redemption here, but Rainbow Six, they're on the hunt. And they're looking to shut this down. They've already got one knock, and they're going in for a potential first-year Optimus. He's in the optimum position, but he's going to get caught out from behind, getting taken down by Ro, who is now absolutely pinpointed. He's very low on HP, but he's still alive, and that might just be enough. Prime still looking for it, and he does find Ro, and he is just hungry for more, going in and picking up player after player here. Now it's just a case of getting that thirst, and absolutely no problem here. Rainbow Six just making it a tough time there for the Rila Insiders.
Yeah, but this is going to be such an important play for the players here of Rainbow Six. I mean, yes, they find themselves in a fairly decent spot if we look over on towards that leaderboard. But now, if they can swoop through the side here of Rila Insider, that could be so great for them to potentially see them bring in a few additional points. Because currently, they're sitting all the way down in 19th, right? Rila Insider sitting all the way up in 9th. So there's quite a disparity between the two positions here. And now, if they can move up and take out the side of Rila Insider, this would be absolutely amazing for the players of Rainbow Six Madagascar.
Yeah, it certainly would. If they want to put the points on the board, this is a great way to do it. Just slam dunk a couple of those top performing teams from the previous round, pick yourself up some kills, move up that leaderboard just a little bit. You can see Trip and J Roller making their way down to the first floor to see if they could spot out Purpose, who's just here on the side. Looks like they're down on meds, and Trip's getting taken down. That's perfect for Purpose. He can just go in there and pick up the kill, no problem. Just dissected there, really. There was nothing they could do. Insiders just caught out, too many angles to watch, and they made a decision to leave that house to try and give themselves an opportunity to push, which certainly commendable, but it didn't work out. Unfortunately, they just got caught out. Also, Young Thunder getting that nice big 100 patchy points for dropping down, being the only team to drop down there on the island. And my offer still stands. If any team can get themselves a nice vehicle flip on camera, then that's 1,000 patchy points right there. In any case, we do have a very interesting zone as well, quite down south.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a very important position for the side of G3. As we've been saying, we've been waiting for them to step up and, you know, just kind of show us what they've got. Now they find themselves smack dab center zone, and we know that whenever they are in this farm region, they're really good at holding the ground, defending it, and just fending off any opposing teams pushing in. But they've been having a little bit of a tough time. So will we see that kind of comeback from them today? Will they be able to dominate the zone from the center moving outwards? Or will we see another team potentially looking to push in and contest them for that position?
Well, that is a good question, and all we have to do is wait to find out. At the moment, We've got some teams moving across. You can see Fear moving in there. We've got 7 AOK to the one side. We got Lag moving in towards G3, who of course are sitting there towards that middle of the zone. We've got C Esports all the way up in Yaznai in the north. We've got Zero Tolerance raining in from the side in towards Rozhok, towards the Natural Killers and the Sidemen. Got Rainbow Six all the way towards the west. They do need to rotate in, but of course not too much of a pressure to do so just yet. But I'm certain as the fights happen, or at least start to happen here and towards the middle of the zone, which are sure to break out between 7 AOK, Fear, and Lag, and perhaps G3, they might just be able to create some space for those rotates. So we'll see. I can see the fights brewing on the horizon already.
Yeah, I'm quite curious to see what BBC is going to be doing. We've seen them time and time again drop over on towards that eastern side of the zone. Now coming in with that rotation, not really having too much to worry about with regards to finding a secure position within the zone, but now they start moving in, looking to see if they can potentially set themselves up in a strong position. Speaking about strong positions, we see the players here from Fear also holding on to the compounds, right? Now this doesn't look like much at the current moment, but depending on where the zone goes, this could actually be quite a favorable position. The same going for the side of Lag as well. You know, I'm curious to see what these two teams will do once that zone pops. If they are forced to rotate further up towards the north, we might potentially see a few late rotations, but now with that zone centering up beautifully on top of them, they can now just maintain these positions and look to fortify them, as we have so many teams still to try and find a decent position as they make their way towards the zone. The Young Thunder, of course, they can also just relax all the way down on towards that Sosnovka military island because there's no one there to contest them. They do have clear passage onto the bridge, but it would also be quite advisable for them to look to secure that bridge. If that zone does shift north or south, they have an easy escape route to get off of that island.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be super useful to fortify that bridge and make sure that if by chance that zone does shift to the south, then of course they can catch the players on the rotate, which can be huge, huge pickup for so many kills and of course, therefore so many points. And of course, one of the other things is that's the benefit that we were seeing a little bit earlier for the teams that are actually dug into some of these buildings, like for instance Fear and Lag. That's the real benefit of actually centralizing in zone. If you can find a good compound or building to fortify in the middle of the zone, you have a higher chance of not having to move. So if you're already equipped and you're comfortable with playing from a defensive position, and you've maybe even picked a stronghold that is maybe on a road or somewhere nearby a hotspot for rotations or something like that, then you can actually sit there, wait for the zone to most likely stay on top of you, and keep fortified in that position and see if you can pick up some kills from that location. The asterisk on that sentence, of course, being the kill people from that location part. You can't just sit in the building and then be like, hey, this is cool, let's just sit here and set up our Bry. You've got to actually get up there and you've got to kill your enemies.
Yeah, I mean, what's a Bry without people? You need people for a Bry to be a Bry. Otherwise, it's just lonely. But at least we see quite a few players and teams now starting to converge back into zone, and quite a big rush actually coming into that central portion. As there's so many teams already positioned on that coastal line. I mean, Rainbow Six still making their long trek all the way back up in towards zone, and I think the rotation coming in there from Mortal, he potentially might have been a little bit AFK, right? It's a very, very late rotation coming in, but that could actually be quite the favorable play here, as the rest of his team is positioned in the zone, very close to that kind of tensional region. And once the fighting breaks out and something could potentially go wrong, he does have that safe position on the edge of zone, and he could just casually stroll on through. Now, speaking about strolling, we see G3 and BBC getting ready to go head to head, just warming themselves up. A few hits in the exchange, finding their way in. Six Guard and Flacco just holding on to the northern position, and this is quite an interesting split actually coming from them. This is a 2-1-1 split. No, yeah, 2-2 split. There we go. Just saw a few icons there, thought maybe someone had gotten taken down or knocked out. But this is typical kind of G3 play. Coming in with that 2-2 split, looking to gather as much information they can before striking, but they've got to be careful because they're going up against BBC and Falak. He's got that Mosin in hand, and we know the Mosin is quite a potent weapon.
Yeah, and I mean, Falak have really stepped up, and the rest of BBC, in fact, have stepped up to the plate when it comes to their presence here in the season. They've definitely showed that they are quite capable fighters alongside their very intriguing strategic thoughts and rotations when it comes to that. So they definitely are a team to be, at least cautious around to some degree. G3, of course, also very good employers, like we were talking about, of that split tactic, the 2-2, which covers some really good ground, and we've seen them utilize it quite often. But here's BBC moving in on Sully. It looks like they've already got him wrangled, so they're just going to pick him up super quick, which is a little bit unfortunate then. That's, of course, what happens when you get caught out alone and separated from the rest of your squad. That happens. It's something usually G3 sniffs out quite well. Usually they find the stragglers and sort of just pick them up here and there, but certainly that is the strength of the split play. You have the ability to actually mobilize in an area with the support of your team in the vicinity with a nice lookout spot. That zone actually very, very south, so you can see it's actually centered down on top of the river as well, which is, or the channel, should I say, as well, which is going to make things difficult. G3 now looking out in towards Young Thunder as well as Team Unique. There, Zeri almost getting caught out. In the meantime, Mortal, Zero Tolerance, and Lag going to be fighting there in the kill feed. So Unique have rolled up on the compound that Young Thunder is currently in. G3 already had their eyes turned towards Young Thunder, and now they're fighting Zero Tolerance, and then Unique, and then Young Thunder. So they've got quite a bit on their plate here. Skidu having rolled up to the compound, the rest of the team trying to move in as well. That's going to make things very interesting for them. G3, quite a strong team, quite a powerful one. They're easily going to pick that up. But now Unique and Young Thunder are going to be fighting it out. And if there's one thing we know about G3, it's they love to let two teams fight it out, put the blood in the water, and then they just come in and clean everyone up.
Yeah, that is definitely a play we've seen from them time and time again. But now, I mean, looking at Romeo, that trigger discipline, he had such a beautiful line of sight, but wasn't 100% sure where the rest of the team from the side of Unique is. So I kind of appreciate, that patience, that tolerance coming through. But now, sorry, he doesn't even feel sorry. He's right there. He's getting ready to move in. Fortunately for him, Snake Eyes comes swooping around the back end just to try and help alleviate the pressure coming through. But now, the players here from Unique find themselves in quite a difficult position. Yes, they were able to find that exchange up on towards Ungodly. Oh, sorry, that was rather coming in from G3. But now, Young Thunder can actually start to move in, tighten this hold on the players from Unique, and just look to see if they could potentially leverage that. Fortunately for the side of Unique, they do have Keish on that off angle, but he needs to be so careful, because not only does he need to worry about Young Thunder, we've got so many other teams still hanging around in the vicinity.
Yeah, we do. There's quite a few teams in the vicinity. In fact, they're all packing up against this available play area right now. You can see Rainbow Six having a tough time up against 7 AOK. Manfilo's putting the shot into Prime, so Rainbow Six absolutely being steamrolled here. Young Thunder still going up against Unique in this compound. They have retreated just a little bit. Exist and Azuri have control of the one building just to the front. It seems that G3 have managed to keep their position here. They are quite well dug in. We did see a couple of teams hovering around. Lag is there in the distance, and Fear was just here as well, but they noticed that this place is absolutely cram-packed like sardines right now, and they decided to get out of there. That situation as quickly as possible. So a little bit of a smart decision coming through from them, but now these teams are left to their devices to see if they can take this fight. Zero Tolerance also trying to roll up, so everyone is kind of getting squished closer and closer towards the side. Buren going to get sniped out by Falak. You said that Mosin was going to be a problem, and now here it is. G3 are seeing that problem right here. Mortal going to get naded out of existence with Hade's Gunner. What a great nade coming through from him. So G3 taking a really good fight there. Gain Zero Tolerance. We just have no foothold with which to attack a team like G3. You can see them stranded on the outside with barely any cover and basically nothing to work with. G3 too well dug in, and the 2-2 split working out really well for them. Just being able to go in with that 2-2 strategy. And in fact, there is a lot to be said about the power of a two-man unit.
Yeah, especially in the hands of G3. We've seen this work out quite favorably for them many times before. But now, this is exactly the kind of situation I was talking about for Zero Tolerance. See, the Hates and the rest of the team, they all just ran into that wall. Fortunately for Zero Tolerance, they still have that player hanging around on the edge of zone. But now, Young Thunder getting ready to move and looking to clear it out onto the players of Unique. But this is going to be so essential, as this fight has gone on for way too long. But there we go. Romeo swoops in, finds the angle. But there's, of course, 2 more players remaining. We do have that. Oh, sorry, rather, that is 2. We got Keish on the far side, and then right above them, we've got another potential threat coming in. So I'm curious to see how Young Thunder is going to look to handle the situation. But they got to be quick, they got to be swift, because the longer they wait, the more opportunity the teams in the vicinity actually have to swoop in and cause a bit of chaos for them. G3 still looking pretty golden with their splits, so we can see off in the distance. Lag also now looking to get a bit of a foothold on that slight bit of a, compound up ahead. I'm curious to see where this next zone is going to be going. But here we have Young Thunder and Unique getting ready to get their the tango going. Exist cooking up the mollies. Snake Eyes just waiting down below, but there's going to be such a tough play for Exist. And I mean, if Young Thunder just rush this, they could definitely clear out Exist and then worry about Keish on the off angle there.
Yeah, definitely could be possible. Young Thunder have done a pretty good job of isolating this one by one, and now they're pushing up into that final area, that final staging area where Exist is going to mount his defense. But whether he can do it or not is a different question. He's got the LMG in hand, so he's got the bullets to make it happen. He's also got those Molotovs prepped, but he is able to land some damage, but goes down eventually. The 2-3-man push coming up the stairs there, so it's a little bit unfortunate, not able to lay down the damage he was looking for. Does get taken out. So Keish next on the menu on the other side of that. The zone does go up towards the north. G3 still finding themselves inside that. BBC as well. CE Sports needing to make a push through and Influence Rage, Sidemen as well. 7AK need to move through. Lag is quite fine. Fear also in a pretty decent spot, but here comes Brunny all the way towards BBC, and you can see that things are going to be a little bit difficult here. BBC are quite well dug into that compound up in the north, so a little bit difficult there. Kratos actually all the way down in the south. Not too sure why that separation happened, but he's just going to be chilling there and going it solo, I guess.
Yeah, that was I was actually watching Ainsley rotate in. I was about to say I'm not quite sure why he's doing that because there's no real cover there, and well, before the thought even, finished forming, he got taken out. And with that, the whole squad from INF. So down they go, done and dusted. Now we only have a few more remaining. Young Thunder now looking to rotate along that southern edge. AOK pulling up alongside the players there from G3. And I mean, here we go. Pablo and Co also now looking to find that opening on towards this western edge, but they rushed right into this hornet's nest that is the western side of zone. AOK also coming under quite a big amount of fire here, as we can see Kavara just getting sent back into the lobby. Now it is up to Manfillas and Skull to try and make a bit of a stand, but this is going to be such a difficult play for the players here from Sidemen. They've already lost one player. The other 2 players that they have are positioned outside of zone, and they still need to find that passage, that safe passage back into the zone. It's going to be very, very tough, seeing that we still have 35 players alive and 11 teams holding in this phase.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this. G3 sandwiched in between 3 teams on either side. We've got Sidemen, we've got the 7AOK, and we've got the Young Thunder in the compound behind them, and they're sitting quite happily. They've got all their players. They recalled the 2-2 split when the zone shifted, and now they're reinforcing this one particular set of buildings in this compound here, and they are quite happy to just be surrounded. They don't mind. They've put so much damage across, and they're managing to catch out so many players that, well, they're just happy to sit in this compound while the chaos on the outside ensues. You can see Osiris getting taken down there as the teams get squished up here. You can see Fear and Lag off on the one side. We've got BBC taking a little bit of a pounding there from C. Yasa putting the shots in. Natural Killers getting eliminated, taking us down to 10 teams there. Nice shots coming in from Rusty as well. BBC taking the fight there. Risks goes down. BBC still surviving in that corner. But you can see things are definitely getting difficult for these teams. The space is running out, and now it really comes down to the wire. Can you manage these situations where some teams have a better position than you?
Well, I mean, looking at positions, we see Aphelion Apex up on the high ground there. Lord is just scouting his way into that position, and the rest of BBC also not too far away. But if the players from Aphelion Apex are able to hold onto the high ground, they could benefit from that so much as the zone starts forcing the players closer and closer together. But BBC, not only do they have the players from Aphelion Apex up ahead of them, they do also have the side of CE Sports sharing this compound with them. And now we can see Lord getting ready to make a bit of a push. We do see Wizard on the lower level. And we've seen some amazing plays actually come through from Wizard in the previous weeks. And maybe we could see a bit of a repeat from that once again. Up comes Rusty and Jassa as well, looking to advance their position. We have a few more kills coming into that kill feed, but up comes Rusty, getting ready to push. Not quite sure where he's looking to go. Maybe let's potentially setting up that vehicle as a bit of a hard cover. But now the bombardment comes through from the side of C Esports, as they know BBC not too far away. Kratos, this position is actually still kind of working out. Not quite sure if he's doing that intentionally, as you mentioned before, or maybe he was a bit AFK. But either way, that could be a bit of a saving grace for the side of BBC. Now, it is up to Brunini here to try and see if he can find any angles. Looking to just secure the position, but Kratos, not quite sure what's going on here. What is happening? I mean, the buggy already having the entire right side blown out. I wasn't expecting that to go anywhere. The only place really that he is going is right back into the lobby. Now it is up to Lord and Nihal to look to hold on as Wizard and Brunini come in, but down goes Lord. Now Nihal needs to try and find that saving grace as they find themselves right on the edge of that safe zone.
Yeah, they get taken over to their limits, and now Nihal has to go through the fire, really try and test his abilities here. Manfila's getting taken down by the play zone, as Fear getting caught out here. Too much to do and not enough time to do it in G3, barely trying to crawl their way into safety here. Things have become even too difficult for them as they've had to abandon most of their compound. Same is about to be true for both C Esports and BBC. Nihal, of course, sitting on the one side, trying to stay alive. At least G3 have the numbers. Sidemen have got 2 as well. Aphelion Apex still in the game. Nihal is, of course, that Lone Ranger now, has to play very, very sneaky. Rusty putting on a couple of shots in there across the way towards Lag Esports, trying to get the bot shots across into the smoke, because of course the smoke obscures the vision but not the bullets, and you can absolutely feel that as they get taken down. Another team eliminated and sent back. 4 teams remaining now. G3 in the sights of Rusty. He's looking for the pot shots here as well. He's looking to find some damage into G3 and make their life difficult, and he's certainly at least accomplished a little bit of that, making things tough for them, but instantly receiving the shots in return, and it looks like Wizard has spotted them out and caught them on the one side. A great angle picked up there by Wizard just to find a bit of damage on Aphelion Apex. Any kills that can be picked up here are going to be super useful for these 4 remaining teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is such beautiful play coming in from the players of C Esports, but now G3, they still have full numbers moving into this late phase of the game. It is close to our final zone. Aphelion Apex down to 1 as it is Jassa now just trying to survive on the edge over towards the east. But G3, they are now going to be looking to start spreading themselves out, starting from the south and just looking to clear it up as they progress further and further into the zone. But already we see Nihal getting taken down. With that, Yasa goes down as well. And now it is between C Esports and G3 to duke it out for that winner chicken dinner. It is going to be a 2v4 situation. But if Wizard has anything to say about this, he will definitely still try and isolate any of the players coming from the G3 side.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very difficult. G3 have got themselves a little bit of a triangle of doom that they've set up. They've got 3 players on the one side. They've got Buden on the other side for the flank, and this is just going to be really brute forcing this apart. Even if they lose one of their members, you know, they're still going to have plenty of crosshairs to spare between them, and they only have to take out 2 players. So Flaco, he's going to make the quick and frantic dash up to the other side, actually, vehicle, just to scout things out. He's like, all right, I see you, and now I just go back, join the rest of my team, and we're going to pick you up super quick. The shots come through, but Rennie does get taken down and ridden over. Unfortunately, the fate of a deer stuck in the headlights. G3, at least we see them picking up a chicken dinner nice and convincing as we expect. And you know what? I asked for it, so I guess good job for them to actually provide that.
Yeah, well, chicken dinner, 12 kills on board. That is kind of the G3 that we know and we remember, right? And it was good seeing them stepping up once again, just reminding everyone else who they are and the way that they play. So it's good to see that performance coming in from them. And who knows, maybe that could have done quite a bit for their position on that overall leaderboard. We'll have to wait and see till we get to that. You know, this was such an interesting match to see, just looking at how they kind of just read the zone and just looked to play it. And even there's a really strong performance coming in from C Esports as well.
Viva la revolution! That's all I have to say. Because when G3 hears that Pachi says they need to step up and revolutionize the tables, they come through with the winner with the chicken dinner. So Riva la revolution, or whatever I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, that is so nice to see. Teams like GT Tampa listening to the clarion call and saying, we have no more time. DK did say it at the beginning, that position exactly where G3 was, just at the edge of safety, was not comfortable for them, and they needed to move up on the leaderboard. And the winner chicken dinner and the total number of kills that they got will definitely do that for them. We are waiting on a few seconds just so that things are getting sorted out, and we'll take a look at the standings of game one for tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, that was some amazing play. I especially love the little drive-by that happened at the end. I'm just gonna go take a look. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, that's where you are. That's where you are. You get taken down, and I'll come through and pick you up and smash you with the car all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, that was some amazing gameplay. Pachi, what was the highlight for you in that particular game?
Actually, there were quite a few things that I really liked about that. There was some really good examples of how to successfully attack. There were some really good examples of how to successfully defend. There were some really good examples of sort of strategies and tactics being used on the ground in real time, like ways to split up your team and actually manage the area, how to defend a large compound, how to defend a single building. There were so many really good examples. I love that. I absolutely love it when we see sort of really good frameworks being set up in the game and utilized by some of these teams. And of course, I think I have to echo exactly what you said there, Dr. Sid. I love that drive-by at the end where you utilize the FIFA. I mean, if not, why not? You've got the opportunity to make it happen. You don't need to play it all the way safe.
Yeah, and looking at the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, DK, what are we seeing?
Well, of course, as we know, G3 Temper just bringing in absolutely phenomenal gameplay, finishing so strong with 12 kills on board. CE Sports performing quite well as well, but we see Aphelion Apex sharing the total points there with them. Both teams sitting on a very comfortable 16 points. We see BBC and Lag, of course, coming in with quite a bit of effort there as well, but Sidemen as well as Influence Rage finishing pretty strong. So, I mean, quite a few teams here with very decent amount of kills being done. As we move on to the second page, this is where we still see the efforts coming through, but this is the lack of placement points. Kill side still happening for the side of Seven Sins and Rainbow Six Madagascar. Natural Killers and Fear only being able to bring in one, and Rila Insider, strangely enough, only 1 point for this match.
1 point for this match. This is the part. This is where you know things are heating up. Now we are about to see the MVP for this particular map. And I'm wondering, we have an idea where it's come from. Definitely, it is going to be Gunner from G3 Temple with 5 kills, 771 damage, and a survival time of 24 minutes and 55 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have come to the end of the first part of today's broadcast in the PUBG Mobile segment. It is still me, myself, Dr. Sid, right here, as you can see us with DK and Pachi, and we're talking to you all the PUBG Mobile action. Like I always do around this time, I tell you guys to get your fingers typing and comment on our YouTube channel. We need to see your interactions and know that you are with us on this amazing journey of PUBG Mobiledom. See you right after the break, guys. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Umzansi Esports League. This is season 4 brought to you by Nordwind Gaming. And I just want to say, if you have not visited nordwindgaming.africa, something greatly wrong with you. But no, we're just kidding. Just make sure you go check out nordwindgaming.africa. Amazing place to get all information about esports and gaming and everything Nordwind related. But basically, we are here talking about the Umzansi Esports League, the PUBG mobile segment. We just had an amazing map on Erangel. We going into personally my favorite because you can't run away from me when I hold the knife in my hand. It is Sanhok, close quarter combat. Let's take a look at standings after first game. Please, Patchy, take it away.
I'm kind of afraid, slightly afraid of Dr. Sid now, but in any case, I hope I don't see him running after me with a knife anytime soon. But what we are going to be seeing this anytime soon is G3 having picked up their nice chicken dinner plus 12 kills at the end of that game. You know, I mean, it was always a matter of when and not really if we knew they could do it. That we were just waiting for them to do it. And there it is. They've got it. Got some good amount of points. But knowing G3, they're not going to be too settled with that. They like to put a few more points on the board generally during the subsistence of any given tournament round. So we will be seeing them around here soon again. I hope in any case we do see C Esports and Aphelion Apex putting in some numbers, which is good to see. Aphelion Apex, as I mentioned some time ago, is a team that we know can do pretty well, but we haven't really seen it perform to their highest standards. And so it's good to see them making it into that top 3. I mean, they are a team that's definitely capable of doing so. BBC, of course, also picking up the double digits along with Lag Esports. So
Patchy, there's something I just wanted to quickly point out. I just want to say that I'm actually super excited to see the flag distribution. All top 5 teams in this particular game were all from 5 different African countries: South Africa, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Madagascar, and I think that is Angola or Mozambique, one of the two. So that's just beautiful to see, and just to show the distribution of how esports is growing in continent thanks to Northern Gaming.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
actually
that is
really, really
Mauritius.
It's Mauritius.
Mauritius. Yes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It is fantastic to see the teams coming all across the continent and just get into one of the most competitive arenas that we've got at the moment. That, of course, being the Umzansi Esports League, and they are going through the grind right now. And, of course, even here on the second page, those flags coming from all across the entire continent here. 7 cents out of killing, actually, a team that was doing pretty well in round 1 and not really been showing it up just yet in this particular round. That's a team from Angola there. So yeah, it's just a question of if these guys are going to kick it back into gear. The Rila Insiders from me and maybe Zero Tolerance, probably the biggest question marks I have. I mean, Rila Insiders was, fighting G3 for top spots not too long ago in round number 1, and now they're taking 14th place with a single point on the board. I mean, surely these guys can do a whole lot better than that.
Well, we are hoping for some improvements in this particular map. Very quickly before we jump into the match, DK, what are your predictions for the map, right? For this map in Sanhok?
It's gonna be a difficult one if I have to be 100% honest, but I'm hoping to see that play come through from Seven Sins over on towards the lovely Sanhok. And the other team that I would say could potentially maybe even be Zero Tolerance Skill.
Zero Tolerance Skills. Oh, Pachi, any hope for the likes of Aphelion Apex?
Well, I mean, Aphelion Apex did pretty decently in map number 1, so maybe we'll see them keep on that train. I think if there's a team that could definitely perform consistently, not necessarily smash it out of the ballpark, because I think we have a lot of teams that are quite capable of that, and they are starting to wake up. But certainly, Aphelion Apex can be a very consistent team, so I think, if anything, at least hopefully we'll see them hovering towards the top of that leaderboard, top 5 most of the time, and keep putting the consistent points on the board, because I would actually like to see them get through. I don't want to see them get relegated. And of course, this round in particular is going to be a very, very difficult round, because that page is looking really big. And of course, the less teams we have, the bigger the page looks, because, we're taking a bigger and bigger chunk away. In the previous round, there were many, many pages, and this, there are only a few. And with one of them, being at risk of being taken away, it's a lot of teams that are going to be falling out. So these guys need to get on the game very, very quickly. And that's why I was really kind of downtrodden in last week when we didn't have really G3 stepping it up, 4KT stepping it up. We didn't see Rila Insiders. We didn't see Zero Tolerance, Infinite Rage. Like, where were these guys? Well, at least we're seeing them now.
Yes, seeing them now. I'm seeing the plane flying over Sanhok, and I can't wait to see the battles, ladies and gentlemen, leaving you in the very, very, very capable hands of DK and Patchy. I will see you after the map on Sanhok.
Thanks very much, Dr. Sid. It is map number 2. We're going to get into Sanhok, the CQC map, but also the very, very trying and difficult map when it comes to those rotations. We've seen so many teams get caught out here. All these teams are now dropping onto the map, hoping that they are not going to be that team who gets caught out. They're going to have to do their best to try and make that happen. But for now, we've got a flight path going across the map. Not too much of a big deal when it comes to this particular map. Usually most parts of the map are accessible. But I am seeing a pretty decent spread out of most teams until we look up towards Hut 10 in the northwest. That might just be a bit of a hot spot. We can see Rain from Hell dropping right down there in the thick of things with another team that I can't really see. But that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be quite interesting, having a bit of hot dropping coming in. We see that over towards Camp Alpha as well. So 2 points of contention that we can see within the zone itself. Also looking up in towards Cow. It is looking a little bit chaotic there as we have the players from Rainbow Six as well as INF. And then we have Osiris and the rest of the team there from the Natural Killers also holding up in the vicinity. The team that you couldn't see, Patchy, was G3. They were hiding under Rain from Hell, and here they are in Hut 10.
Sneaky, sneaky stuff. They were hiding under the radar, quite literally from me, so that I couldn't see them getting right into the thick of things. But, well, this is a nice gear to shift into. Hopefully G3 can step up to the pace here and just take them on. Rain from Hell, of course, might not be ready for the quick push, but maybe they will be. We will see. There's a quick push coming in from Rainbow Six at Influence Rage as well, so it's good to see these teams kicking it into high octane straight off the bat. Ainsley going to get taken down there by Prime, and Rain from Hell now pushing up on towards Six God. Jin moving into position. G3 a little bit split up here, so Six God has to be quite careful. And of course, on the right-hand side of the screen, we've got the Rain from Hell versus I think that's the Jin fight on the one side. Yeah, so Flaco on the one side, we've got the nade coming through. We have to make sure that Flaco doesn't get separated because Skulls could come in from behind. No, decides to reinforce Jin. They're going to go for Six God. Flaco might be in the area to assist, but they have to be careful because Neon and Argus are fighting Gunner and Bjorn on the other side. So this could potentially be either really good for G3 if they win this out and pick up some good kills and some space, or it could go absolutely horribly.
Well, we'll have to wait and see which one it is that we get, right? So seeing that we're so close to Halloween, we're kind of hoping for the horrible, that kind of fits in the scene, the whole theme of, the time we're in right now. So we'll have to wait. Who knows? Maybe it takes a bit of a swing for the worst, being Halloween and all. But here we go. Up comes Buden. Beautiful spray down right on towards Neon. And now the pressure is on. Six God gets knocked right on down as well. Jin and Skulls looking to get quite aggressive with Flacco holding right there alongside. Then we do see Argus all the way on the opposite end, but he might just be lying in wait, waiting to see if he can find any of those off-angle rotations coming through as Jin now gets taken right on down. It is up to Skulls to hold the fort with Argus looking to push up a little bit more. Gunner now just quickly trying to pop those meds, trying to get himself back up into fighting form. Meanwhile, Skulls is going to be tending to the wounded, but up comes that three-person rush from the side of G3. Oh, this is going to be such a tough one to play, but there we go. Skulls running straight up into that one. Now it's up to Argus, the last remaining hopeful for the side of Rain from Hell. And, quite a bit of aggression coming in from the side of G3.
And it's not unwarranted aggression. I'll remind you that not only a moment ago, Rain from Hell decided it would be a good idea to push the solo player from G3 and take him down. And G3, well, when you disrespect them like that, you can get them angry. And when they're angry, you don't like them when they're angry. They just go in and they roll over your whole team. And that's exactly what they've done here. They're like, oh, so you want to fight? So you haven't run away? So you've decided that you're going to try and take us down? All right, well that's fine. We'll just take you down instead. And they've done that, and now they're getting pushed by lag, and they're hoping to respond in the same way. So one Berserk and Zero have all just absolutely flooded down into this compound to try and get the quick pacing onto G3. Gunner going to have to try and respond super quickly here. Beaten on the one side, the heals do come through, so Lag have lost the window of rushing. They're going to have to take a step back and try and just recollect themselves and reposition here, because you definitely don't want to take your chances against G3. You want to make sure that you give yourself the best chance to defeat them as possible. They tried to get the pacing, they tried to get the tempo advantage there and just rush in while G3 was still trying to recuperate. But G3, they were too quick on the pullback. They knew exactly what they had to do. They were defensive. They didn't double down on the defense, and now they're A-OK for that one. In the meantime, speaking of A-OK, 7 A-OK going in for some fights of their own on the rest of the map. So it's good to see that these teams are getting into the thick of things nice and quick.
Yep. Just as these segues are just, as smooth as butter. But here we go, Lag. They know exactly what they're getting themselves into, as they were keeping a very watchful eye on that kill feed. With that already, Flacco gets taken down. Gunner holding up the front line as 1-9 gets a little bit aggressive, moving himself closer so he can find those potential spray downs on towards them. Quite a big barrage of those utilities getting sent on through, but up comes Lag, getting ready to rush. Gunner, about to find himself in a fairly tough position. With that, the shots come through. He goes right on down. Lag bringing such an aggressive game. But, well, they still have 2 more players to go through to send the full squad of G3 back into the lobby. This is not where you want to be if you are a team like G3. Coming back from such a beautiful play in that previous game. And now, going out in potentially early game could mean that they find themselves in a position where they have no placement points and they have to only rely on those kill points. But they're going to be so careful, because right behind them, we've got yet another team swooping in from the western side. So G3, they got to keep their eyes on everything around them.
Yeah, I really like the fact that these teams have become very confident to fight up against a team like G3. Early on, and even seasons ago, it would have been unthinkable to challenge these guys. As soon as you see those name tags, you turn tail and run the other way. And now we've got teams like Lag just rolling up and asserting themselves in the compound, and G3 have to run away. They can't do anything. Lag did their due diligence. They came in, they tried to get the tempo advantage. It didn't work, and they didn't over push it. They didn't overextend. A lot of teams do that. They go in, the plan fails, but then they double down to try and get, just hard push it all the way, and it doesn't work out for them. Lag, it didn't work out, so they pulled back, they recuperated, they found another angle in, and they slowly pushed G3 out of the compound. They're doing exactly what they need to do, and it's fantastic to see these teams really just stepping up the game in such a huge way, season after season, and even round after round here in Season 4. Really good to see. So Lag are still on the hunt. They've cleared through the compound as well. They've got full control of that for the time being. And they've really picked their moments well so far. Are they going to be able to continue to do that? Unique off just behind G3, so they have to be careful on that front. The zone is slightly tilted towards that northwest position. So for the time being, I think the fights on this northwest island are going to be not really in any jeopardy of being washed by that blue zone.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing any crazy plays like that happening just yet. But we do, strangely enough, have quite a few stragglers holding on to those far reaches of the map, all the way over towards that far eastern side, as we can see half of Rainbow Six. Also down towards the south, where we've got 2 players from Aphelion Apex, as well as one of the players from Rila inside a row. So some pretty strange positions, but hopefully there's some method to the madness. But speaking about madness, if we look up to boot camp, that is where we've got the players now from AOK, as well as the Sidemen, getting ready to have a bit of a fight, right? And that is what we want to see, essentially, Match. We want to see those fights break out. And I'm quite curious to see, how that's going to kind of turn out. Also, up on towards that northwestern side. Not only do we have Lag and G3, as you've mentioned, we've got Unique there as well, but also C Esports just holding just south of that potential point of contention. But now, as we jump back up into bootcamp, this is where the Sidemen have the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with Seven Sins' Arts of Killing. And I'm curious to see whether maybe this round would go a little bit better for Seven Sins.
Yeah, hopefully for their sake, things do go a little bit better. This is going to be a difficult compound to push, as you can see quite a few strongholds and separations in that particular scenario. We've got Zero moving around with this vehicle. He has been doing quite a bit of scouting with this buggy. He is looking for G3 and seeing if maybe he can find any potential angles onto them, because, of course, they don't want to make any wrong moves. And certainly against the team like G3, you can't leave anything up to chance. You got to make sure you know what you're getting into. Right now, G3 are just looking to see if anyone's going to push them and potentially, expose themselves to an angle that they can utilize. I mean, they even have a forward position here. They've got Burden in the back line, and they've got one of their players all the way up towards the rock. So Zero, he decides to go in towards the compound where Burden is currently defending, and he's just trying to root that position out. Flecko, he hasn't turned just yet. He's still hiding, and so this might be a bit of a problem. Burden getting caught out from behind, but he is quick on the draw. Too fast, too furious. He takes him down right there. Instantly puts the bullets in and sends him back into that lobby. And this is the challenge when you go up against a team like G3. Even if there's only 2 players left, they know how to set up a strategic position with just those 2 players and make it really difficult to push them. Not necessarily impossible, but you really have to make sure you know the layout of what's going on in the G3 camp if you want to dismantle their defense.
Yeah, and that is what makes it so important of these teams doing their due diligence, as you've said before. But G3, they need to be careful because we still have that potential threat coming in from Unique. But we're not quite sure where exactly Unique is, whether Unique started heading back into zone or if they're going to look to potentially move up. Because I'm pretty sure if they are close enough, they'll hurt all these engagements. But it does seem like Unique is looking to push a little bit further back over towards that western edge, coming right back towards Camp Alpha. The players there from CE Sports still holding strong up in towards the mountains, not budging too much. But we also now see the players from Young Thunder as well as Fear on that coastal edge of that northwestern island. So this is quite an interesting position for both these teams to be in. It could be quite favorable, seeing that it is smack dab center zone, and we've seen so many fights breaking out in this region. But now the question comes is, will they be able to hold on to that? Still, we see quite a few teams making their way, looking to advance their position, get into a stronger hold in the zone, have those kind of anchor points set up if the zone does decide to swing things a little bit on the aggressive side. But they got to make those plays because blue zone is starting to close in.
Yeah, it is, and the zone shift is going to displace a couple of teams and just make things a little bit uncomfortable for them to move in, but not too uncomfortable just yet. There are some fights between 7AOK and the Sidemen going on there in boot camp. You can see Swags putting some shots across towards what looks like Young Thunder in the distance there. Young Thunder and Fear, of course, fighting just off to the western position of the of boot camp right next to them. A couple of teams in the north need to make their way down. But everyone's just quite happy to get into some tussles here and there, not really ready to make any big commitments or congregations just yet. They just want to try the one-on-ones for now, which is probably a smart move. Isolate a team, try and pick them up, try and create some space for yourself. Young Thunder, they're split up just a little bit. Superior on the one side with his teammate there, Romeo, Young Ungodly, just on the other side with Snake Eyes here by a bridge. Swag's trying to find the angle in towards them, but hasn't found anything that can be utilized just yet. We still have quite a considerable number of teams on the board at the moment, 14 teams, 47 players here. But as we move from zones 2 to 3 and, head towards zones 4 and potentially 5 after that, moving in towards the mid-game, we're going to start running out of space fairly quickly. So these teams do need to get a bit of a move on when it comes to either taking or finishing these fights or getting out of those positions, because right now I think positioning might just be a problem depending on where the zone decides to go.
Yeah, they definitely need to prioritize that position, right? Having themselves set up to be able to take a fight. And for the most, I mean, the players here from Fear have themselves in quite a favorable position because they can have a clear line of sight straight over on towards Young Thunder. Young Thunder finding themselves in a very exposed region, and I would really reconsider kind of fighting it out in and around this bridge, maybe just moving a little bit further closer towards more centralized zone. We know there's a few more compounds up ahead as well, but I mean, for the side of Fear, I wouldn't really move from this current compound because we got so many teams still positioned up in towards the north that are going to be heading straight down towards them, and if they are able to fortify that position, they can just benefit and just wreak absolute havoc on the teams looking to rotate back into zone.
Yeah, certainly could do that at the moment. Taking a look at Fear as they start to push on up, moving across the pathway here, moving up the road, looking to see if they can find any positions to get themselves into. You can see Young Thunder on the opposite side of that channel of the river. Ungodly and Snake Eye is going to be moving back and trying to escape the crosshairs of Fear, and for the moment they will be relatively successful in doing so. BBC taking fight there with the Sidemen. Sleepy getting taken down there in the kill feed. The fights are still continuing, and we have moved into the third zone, so things are about to get a lot more cramped inside the zone. A lot of teams have decided to flee from that northern island, most of them now occupying the east and the south. Some shots coming into Sleepy, he getting taken down. BBC successful in their fight against the Sidemen at the moment, and a lot of teams about to run into each other down in the south of that zone.
Yeah, and this is going to be such a highly contested area, as we can see the Sidemen now. Ooh, just getting ripped apart. And with that, several sprays coming on through. But we have Rila inside and Natural Killers also getting caught up in a bit of an exchange. BBC now have this whole eastern side of zone, especially this hilltop, to themselves. Now, this is in itself a very strong position to be holding, as they can see for quite some distance up ahead. But looking a little bit further down on towards that western side, we do see the players from Zero Tolerance looking to establish a position just on the opposite end of the bridge. Meanwhile, up north, AOK coming under fire, as there's quite a bit of threat coming through from the side of C Esports. But now, Skydo and the rest of the team keeping a very watchful eye on the players coming in from Rainbow Six and Young Thunder, not too far away off in the distance. So things are going to get quite hot and spicy pretty soon. But if the teams have been able to set themselves up favorably in a position that they can defend and fortify, they should have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, certainly getting into a position that can be fortified is going to be quite a boon when it comes to these last few zones. As the zones start to squeeze up, it's going to be difficult. And one of the biggest things that proves to be a challenge for teams on a map like Sanhok is the fact that when you're forced to rotate again and again and again, there's so much opportunity to catch you out that it is absolutely ridiculous. So many of these teams do trip up when it comes to just having to rotate constantly and lacking that fortification. So if you do manage to find yourself a decent spot in the middle of a zone and you manage to actually get yourself into the point where you've got that defensible position and you can stay there, it is hugely beneficial to actually be able to sit there and defend that position, pick up the kills, and really get yourself in a much better location than just running around in the open and opening yourself up to some of these long angles that these teams can create.
Yeah, and of course, those angles are going to be absolutely essential, especially on a map like Sanhok, right? You want those angles. You want to see if you can get yourself into one of those third-party plays, because that is something we see happen quite a bit. And looking at where the zone is now shifted into, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of those angles and positional plays coming through on towards the southern edges. We have like this mass migration just moving in, everyone having a very similar idea. I think the north is going to be quite tame for the time being, as we don't have such a big concentration of teams looking to move on through. But I mean, the south is where the fight is going to be. We see Aphelion Apex, we see Young Thunder, Rainbow Six, as well as Fear, and that's just on screen. We saw quite a few more teams holding in the vicinity, but this is going to be absolute chaos breaking out here in Sanhok.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, you can see all these name tags here on the screen. Rainbow Six moving up on our right-hand side here, right next to Aphelion Apex, who is split. Kage off on the further ahead, and of course Rusty closer. We see Fear moving across the channel at the moment, so they're moving in and potentially could overwhelm Rusty if he's not careful. He might have to just relocate or call back his teammate for some reinforcements. Young Thunder, of course, up in the distance, also with quite a considerable presence in the area. Rusty does decide to pull back, which is probably a smart decision here. Going to regroup with the rest of Aphelion Apex, but now that Fear has actually found their way, they're going to be driving a wedge between Kage and the rest of Aphelion Apex. Now, here's a team that I want to see do a little bit well, and we'll have a look and see if they can actually make that happen right now, because they are under pressure and they're about to be put to the test. Sicko getting taken down in the back line, which is a problem. They're fighting on all fronts at the moment, and they're trying to stay alive. Fear crawling out of the water and taking them down like a Spec Ops team. just eliminating them one by one. They were not expecting that, and now Rainbow Six moving down the road to put even more pressure on this team. Is going to be so difficult to stay alive. Hulk just dodging around the rock and taking stock of what is happening in Philly and Apex. They're just getting taken out one by one. Rusty is basically cornered. I mean, look at this. Rainbow Six running on the one side. Fear has already pulled out of that river, and Kage all the way on the other side, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. Outcast getting taken down. Rusty low on HP, has to try and heal himself back up, but it's a nade straight in that window. Goodbye. Rusty gets taken down, and the thirst is inevitable at this point. The question is it going to be Rainbow Six or Fear who picks it up? Because both of these teams are in a potential position to do so. They're going to have to fight one another as these teams start to push in.
Yeah, it's going to be quite crazy, but the Mauritians are looking to move in and get quite aggressive. But with that, Prime goes down, and now we see several more potential sprays coming through, as this is only going to get tougher and tougher. The zone now even shifting away from them. Now they need to try and conclude these fights because they don't have safety here. They need to try and relocate back up into zone, but up comes the spray down there from Outcast. The hits come through, and with that, they clear up a little bit of that threat. Now the pressure is still on Aphelion Apex alongside Rainbow Six as they quickly dealt with the side of Fear. But Rusty finding himself in a very difficult position with that. Purpose comes moving in with great amounts of purpose there. And now it is up to Kage, the lone survivor, looking to hold on. And Rainbow Six, you know, like they're just moving up and about throughout this match so far. And it's quite entertaining to watch. But now 11 teams remain, 29 players still alive. You can see the chaos unfolding up ahead as Young Thunder find themselves in the crosshairs. Several teams, and this is going to be such a tough position to play. I mean, G3 also still trying to make the most happen all the way up from the north. But Natural Killers down to Osiris and Roshi. Up comes the spray down. But now they need to hold their own as BBC looks to move on through quite a few knocks coming in. Oh, it is up to Lord, the last remaining hopeful now for BBC. So many hits, so much chaos. Who will be the team to survive this? I have no idea.
Well, in any case, Lord getting taken down, all of his team away, and now he's the last player, Osiris, right up here to potentially meet him. In the meantime, the fights are still continuing. Lord trying to outrun the blue zone now. There's too many factors working against him. It's a fight upstream at the moment, but in he comes, and he is managing to get at least a quick pickup there in terms of the kills to add a point to the score. But BBC have a lot of work to do. Lord has a lot of work to do if he wants to keep the hopes and dreams alive. Sandwiched here against the side of the door frame with the blue zone right behind him. Over his shoulder, you can see Roshi up ahead, but that zone is absolutely treacherous. 9 teams remaining. That's not going to be for much longer. These teams are about to get elimed all over the show because this zone is not looking good. There's just basically no cover. Lord getting sniped from across the way. The bullets just going straight into him. And now we find ourselves in a particularly difficult spot as that blue zone is starting to move in just a couple of seconds. These teams are going to find that pressure building very, very quickly.
Yeah, there's so much pressure still to come as we've got 8 teams, 14 players. It was 15, but with that Purpose got purposefully taken down. And now Ro is trying to apply that heal strat, that lovely Sanhok heal strat. Meanwhile, we can see Superior up ahead, just getting taken right on down. Romeo also looking to hold on for dear life, but up comes Optimus. Looking quite optimistic about this rush as he is the last remaining hopeful. Will he make it? No! Down he goes. The spray comes through, and that is the end for Rainbow Six. But up ahead, Zero Tolerance looking to make a bit of a stand still. Will they be able to get it done, though? I mean, I said before I was hoping for them to try and bring in that play, and with that, they take out Romeo. Down he goes. But now 5 teams remain. Only 10 players alive. And looking at the spread that we've got on this map, Zero Tolerance coming in quite strong into this last few phases.
Yeah, absolutely. They've moved in. They've got their players up and healthy. Vibes a little bit low, but otherwise they're still good to go. They've got some good presence here on the side of the zone, and they're about to assert it in towards Lag. Rao, of course, very low on the one side, but he has made it in to keep the Rilla's inside his hopes and dreams alive for the moment. Risks all the way on the bottom here of our screen is still alive and ready to try and sneak into the zone, but I don't think he's going to get very far because there's a lot of players that want to get into that same space. With 7 zones deep, you do not want to get caught in the blue right now. It's going to do way too much damage, so you really just have to fight your way through. That's all it comes down to now, bobbing and weaving maybe a little bit, but ultimately it is up to what you can make happen. Vortex getting taken down there as Lag mount their attack, and these guys have really been moving since the beginning of this game, and now they're pushing up. They're going for it. Fantasy getting taken down though. Skidu quick on the draw, quick on the defense, but can he mount exactly what he needs to do? I mean, those HPs are looking super low. Fantasy getting taken all the way down, and these guys are hanging on by a thread at the moment, and this Molotov might seal the deal as it just streams over the side of the hill. Lag still in this 1-1, crawling up with Berserk. They're just managing to stay ahead of that blue zone, but they know the fight is inevitable, and they pop up to make it happen, but Berserk goes down. Vibes puts the hits in, and up he goes, instantly retaliating. Zero tolerance, just keeping themselves balanced here. Absolutely got a handle on the situation at the moment. Rao trying to catch someone out on the behind, but he doesn't want to give away his position. Otherwise, he is just going to get laser beamed to death. Risks on the other side. These 2 lone rangers trying to fight. That is zero tolerance. And I'm not sure if they can make it happen at this point. The nades are absolutely flying, but Rao needs to pick his moment. He needs to pick it perfectly if he wants to get a lineup, if he wants to get as many kills as he can actually get. Maybe he's waiting for zero tolerance to kill risks before he pops that, because he knows he can get a secure second place for the Rila Insiders, which they desperately need at this point. He doesn't want to go out third. He wants the bonus of that second place finish. So he's waiting. He's biding his time until zero tolerance take risks down, which is super, super close to happening as that blue zone creeps in.
I mean, Revo is in such a beautiful position. I mean, zero tolerance, they haven't even spotted him yet. They are aware of risk, right? Oh, there we go. Down goes the risk, and with that, it is the opportunity for Ro to strike, but unfortunately, he rode himself right back into the lobby and into second place nonetheless. But zero tolerance finishing so strong here, coming in with 11 kills alongside that winner chicken dinner. The Rila Insiders taking second place with 2 kills, and C Esports finishing in top 3 yet again, Patchy.
Yes, it is quite nice to see. And may I just point out that today we have not had Caster's curses, DK. We have had Caster's blessings. I called out G3, they got a chicken dinner. You called out zero tolerance, they got a chicken dinner. Now we out here, Rila Insiders with second place as well, even C Esports down in third. So we're just passing out the blessings here today.
Blessings being passed out consistently around the place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they call sharing the bread. Sharing the love and making sure that everybody is getting a piece of the chicken. You understand? And this is beautiful to see. Zero tolerance skills coming through, winning the chicken there. These are teams that we expect to be in the finals. And they've kept it till late, but they're definitely showing up now and bringing in the heat and the flame. Rila Insiders have also been a team that have also been given us some level of consistency, and they've also shown that they deserve to be in the final round. I cannot wait to see the points distribution of this second game of the day and see who did what and who landed where, and kind of anticipate how that affects the overall standings. Patchy, I'm coming to you. Who surprised you or who shocked you by not being in the final circle?
By not being in the final circle. I think it was interesting to see that BBC didn't make it really there, and I think probably I know that G3 didn't make it up in there, but with them, it's not always a case of, oh, they didn't make it up in Sanhok. I think Sanhok's a little bit more chaotic than that, so maybe not too surprising. What is surprising, perhaps, is the fact that they weren't really tussling with, like, top 5. Usually, at least, we see them in that margin. So there's that, and I think other than that, the one team that I have been a little bit surprised that we haven't really seen clupping it like they should be are a couple of these teams in this lobby, actually. Rila Insiders was one of them in the last week, but they have come back with a good double point here, as you can see on that scoreboard. Zero Tolerance was another. Influence Rage being another one of those teams that I also expected to do a little bit better, as they were quite dominant towards the beginning of round 1. So
And looking at this table right now, we see Lag Esports also coming through with some heavy points, and the Natural Killers. I think GC Temper just got enough points to keep them within a safe distance from the relegation spot. Nice to see BBC in the top page, and let's take a look at the second page of these standings. DK, what are we looking at here?
Well, this is where we see Young Thunder, the players there, of course, from Inference, Rage, and Sidemen, not finding any kills in this game. We do, however, see the side of Seven Sins coming in with 3 kills on board. Aphelion, Apex, as well as Unique and Fear and Rain from Hell, getting some numbers in there. Right, this is not the most ideal numbers that they would essentially be hoping for. But numbers are numbers, right? Every single point that the teams can find does help. It's just a question of how much does it help and how much more work they now need to do in the remaining matches to get themselves into the positions that they are chasing for, that they are hunting for. I mean, a team, for instance, like Young Thunder, we see them currently sitting that lower end of the overall standing, so they cannot really afford to get these amounts of points on a too consistent basis. They really need to look to push it up, get closer to those double digits, potentially even finish strong at the end of a match. Unfortunately for them, we still have one more match to go in which that could be possible, but we're going to have to wait and see what the teams will be able to bring in. As we can see on screen, though, Mr. Vibes there from Zero Tolerance Skills bringing in quite a bit of carnage with 6 kills and 735 damage being dealt.
That is some amazing gameplay right there. And ladies and gentlemen, with all this information, stats, and updates, we have come to the end of the second segment, which is obviously the end of the second map. And we have one more map to go for the rest of the night, which, as we all know, is Miramar. It is still Dr. Sid, DK, and Patchy. And we will be right back after this break with some more PUBG Mobile action. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Umzansi Esports League. My name is Dr. Sid, here with Monsieur Betty and Monsieur DK, and we are giving you some the hottest action coming out of the African content when it comes to PUBG Mobile. I just want to say a lot of the teams have been doing it very, very well, and they have been giving us a lot of interesting plays with different teams winning the different maps. We have had Erangel, and now we have had Sanhok. We are going to the last one of the day, which is Miramar. Let us take a quick update, a recap, as you would call it, of the last match. Mr. DK,
Yeah,
talk us through this
let's
one.
recap real quick over those standings that we've got going here. Zero Tolerance picking up that nice chicken dinner. CE Sports and Rila Insiders also getting themselves up in that top 3 double digits for Rainbow Six and Lag as well. Natural Killer's actually quite close to the double digits as well, so it's nice to see them putting some points on the board. One of the teams actually that I didn't mention before the break that I would like to mention now as a team that I'm kind of disappointed not to see at the top anywhere recently is Young Thunder, of course, a team that's had a bit of an on and off performance across the last few weeks or last few times that we've seen them, but certainly they are capable of quite good performances from time to time, and I would like to see them get some more consistent. In terms of those good performances, get a bit more consistent. So that's a team that I would like to see get up at least onto this first page, but certainly I'd like to see them top 3, top 5 within the next game at least, because they are quite a capable team as well. And of course, we can move on and see they have not really achieved that just yet, sitting in 9th place off the back of game 5. But of course, they still have this game to make some things happen. And that certainly is quite a big opportunity as well. Miramar is a very large map, so the opportunities are equally as large, but you got to make sure that you are ready to take those fights, because if you thought Sanhok was quite busy, and certainly Miramar is going to be pretty busy too, because so far we've seen a really good trend of these teams getting active and doing so quite early on and very consistently throughout the whole match. And I think that's because as we move on from round to round, the pace starts to pick up a little bit, and these teams know that they have to actually start using a little bit more serious strategies as Dr. Sid serenades us across the internet. I'm certainly hoping for a serenading performance from our teams in map 3.
Awesome. I was literally out there coming, I'm going to throw Patchy off his game and giving him a little head bob. But Patchy, being the ultimate professional that he is, stays in character, which we are hoping some of the teams would stay in character and give us some spectacular performance. We're also hoping that some of these teams will come out of character and give us some amazing performances. So, DK, very quickly, who are you looking forward to stepping out of character and giving us something epic in this final map on Miramar?
Out of character, based on what we've been seeing so far today, I'm hoping G3 kind of comes back swinging in Miramar. We know this is the map on which they are quite strong and quite proficient, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they finish exceptionally well in this match, seeing that they had a bit of a tough run coming in on Sanhok. But another team that could potentially be stepping it up as well, I would say Aphelion Apex over on Miramar. I think this could potentially be a match for them as well.
Okay, a feeling Apex. We are looking forward to you guys come and do some magic, and not leave everything to the likes of Rila Insiders and BBC and some of these guys that are just racking the points, trying to make sure that they secure their spot in the finals and move one step close to $15,000 prize pool. If you're watching right now, you haven't, you need to be dropping comments in the comment section below, because we want to see your interaction, and let us know what you think about the stream, and let us know exactly what you feel about our predictions and some of these teams and the way that they're playing. Because if you think about it, some of these teams, the way they are moving is like they don't really want just this thing. But right now we have people live chatting. We love you people live chatting right now. Live chat all the way. Tell me how my hair is looking, because I did rub some pomade on my hair today. You get me? It's not fluffy as it used to be. But we also love you to give us some of your analysis as well in the comment section after the video's gone live, or in, just come on and give us some interaction and engagement. It helps our algorithms and it helps me get paid. Just kidding. Anyways, we want to see we want to see your interaction, and the comments are very, very helpful as well. But that being said, it is time to go straight into some hot action as our teams are flying over. Oh my God, what is that? That is unbelievable.
Someone
Sorry
looking
for
for the chicken pieces. So that's what's happening because we have not
yes.
said
I think I just
chicken
said something
pieces
about commenting,
once
and somebody
today.
called me saying, "You want to see a comment? I'll comment right now. Pick up your phone." Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to go straight into Miramar for the final map of the day. This is the Umzansi Esports League. It is season 4. The action is hotting up. Will it be G3 Temper? Will it be BBC? Will it be Rila Insiders? Could it be Zero Tolerance Skills? Once again, could it be Aphelion Apex? We're also having want to watch out for the likes of C Esports. These guys have a high tendency to come through and give us some amazing action. So at this point in time, I'm going to leave you guys in the very capable hands of DK and Patchy, and I'll see you after the map.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sid. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else in the chat, we have come all the way to the end of this weekend's, or this day's, of the first day of the weekend's matches, should I say. Map number 3 of today's matches is of course going to be Miramar. It is the long range stuff that we've got cooking in our pot, and hopefully the chicken that is also cooking in that pot will be hot and spicy, just like we've had for the rest of the games today. It would be sad if things slowed down at the end. I'd like things to keep going at the pace they've been going, because these fights, DK, they've actually been really nice to see.
Yeah, some really good fighting that we've been seeing in our first 2 matches, and yeah, I gotta agree with you. Hopefully that continues. That trend continues to push on forward as we move into our final match here of the day. I was about to say that you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, saying, you know, it's like the last match of the weekend. I'm like, what happened? Did I miss a few days here? You had me
Time
so
travel, DK,
stressed.
time travel.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those odd things because like Doctor said, he didn't even say chicken pieces once today. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like we're in a completely different universe currently, and it's good. I'm not complaining. You know, the teams are just getting right down to business, doing what they do. And I mean, now moving in with this phase, sitting all the way over towards that eastern side, it's going to be quite interesting as the teams have quite a good amount of access actually to secure themselves in these strong plays. And Los Leones is where we will be seeing the players from Rainbow Six and Fear. And I mean, looking at the performance coming in from Fear in the previous match, they seemed to be actually quite a bit fearless as they were, you know, just playing in those early stages of the game.
Yeah, they certainly were, and I mean that's the fearlessness that I actually really like to see. It's great, the team sort of coming out of those defensive shells a little bit and getting a bit more aggressive, and it's paying off quite a lot. I mean, the dividends you can see. Maybe the attacks don't go so well sometimes, you know, but I think that is more a case of experience. I don't think the teams have actually gotten themselves into that point where they're super used to taking fights with one another. I mean, back in previous seasons, you know, some of the teams, like for instance G3, just to bring up a well-known name, they took fights so often with just about everyone that they knew the ins and outs of how all the teams would react to a given situation, you know. And that is something that I think maybe turned off or slowed down quite a bit in recent seasons, but it's starting to pick back up just a little bit here in season 4. Things are definitely getting into that stage where we see the teams and they realize how valuable it can be to get into the thick of fighting a team early on. I would certainly like to see that happen a bit earlier on in the season, because I think that one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is be too defensive early on in the season and then realize that you actually haven't learned a lot about some of the other teams and how they play later on. So you know, it's good to actually get a bit more feel for what's happening in the earlier seasons, or in the earlier rounds of a season, should I say, and actually get a feel for fights. You know, go for it, because at least in round number 1, there's a bit of a bigger buffer zone, and you can more likely make it to safety. Whereas now, as we've moved into round 2 and we sort of move through the tournament, it gets a lot more difficult to try and do any risky plays. You know, you generally want to stick to your tried and true strats, your strat book, and all the rest of it. So you definitely want to have a little bit more grips on what's going on at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, and also you want to avoid the FOMO, right? That is what you want to do. Like you want to be the team that says, you know what, look at us, we made it through round 1, round 2, and here we are sitting quite comfortable in the finals, right? So that is definitely kind of something to try and push for. And you know, the teams only benefit from finding themselves in those finals as they have a bit of bragging right. saying out of all these teams that started it off, we are, the final batch of teams that made it all the way through. And it's going to be interesting to see how the teams go about the business in our remaining matches in this round, of course. And as you pointed out, this is our last one, not for the weekend, but for the day. We do see the players there from Fear in our nice little window, making their way around, just heading out of Los Leones. But the general spread that we have on the zone is looking fairly decent, though, I gotta say. I mean, Rainbow Six moving up behind Sidemen over in towards Los Leones. We do have the players from CE Sports and BBC over on towards that western side with the addition of Lag right there next to them. And of course, they're no surprise to see the players from G3 pushing all the way up in towards San Martin. So I'm curious to see, though, once the zone starts closing up and that blue zone pops us into our next phase, where these teams are going to go and where the aggression is going to start happening, because I'm not expecting too much of that to happen in this first initial phase.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the size of this map in particular, if you don't get the initial eliminations in the hot drops, or if you don't get any early fighting like that, then it does take time to rev things up just a little bit because of the size of the map. I mean, we used to speak quite often about how deceiving the map on Miramar can actually be. It looks like the teams are close, but they're actually really not. So there's quite a good distance between them. And that doesn't stop them from fighting. As we know, the long distance engagements on this map are quite prominent and very strong, but usually it can take a little bit of time before things get going unless the teams take initiative. And right now we do have some initiative being taken. The Sidemen looking for a couple of shots. Here's Matrix. He did try and find the players there from Fear, Outcast, and Hulk trying to drive into the distance. So this is the kind of opportunity that you need to be looking out for. Is somebody rotating around in your area? Can you see someone far away? Just take some pot shots at them. I mean, look at this. Matrix still going for the pot shots, and that is exactly what you need to be doing on a map like this. Even if it's a far engagement, still take it. If you can find that knock, you actually could potentially unlock yourself a situation where you could pick up a couple of kills, maybe even a team wipe, and that is huge for a map like this.
Yep. I mean, the more that you can find, the more that you can look to play this map in your favor, obviously the more you'll benefit from that. But one thing we've seen also quite a few times is that kind of positional play, right? Finding yourself in the high grounds, and depending on where that zone kind of rotates into, it's always so difficult to find the ideal spot to be in. And I mean, speaking about ideal, right? The players from INF, they're taking a super laid back approach to this final match. They just chilling up in Al Azhar. They're like, no, it's fine. The rest of the lobby, they can just duke it out, fight with each other. We'll just come in a little while later and just clean up what needs to be cleaned up. And the same can almost kind of be said for the players there from Natural Killers all the way down over in towards Puerto. But this western side batch, this is where it's going to be absolutely crazy. We see Seven Sins on the roll. We have Rain from Hell, CE Sports, BBC, all in such close proximity. And I think kind of the first team to move in and set up that anchor point, set up that kind of fighting position, if they have themselves in a strong angle, they could cause quite a bit of chaos from that position. And we could now actually see Seven Sins bumping heads with Rain from Hell.
We certainly could. We certainly could. I mean, sitting on that side of the map, maybe they'll get a little bit of that action coming through there. And there does seem to be a few teams rotating past that general direction. So maybe we've got Skull pushing through. Old Boy and the rest of Rain from Hell are going to push into this compound, though. So Skull is going to have to break off. Actually, they're going to go for the drive-by. They don't even care that he's rotating away. Mr. now just putting the shots in. He's just devastating them. Every single shot just tearing through those HPs. And 7 AOK, they're like, delivered this meal on a platter. They've just picked it up, no problem. And Old Boy's like, hold on, where's my team gone? They were coming just 2 seconds ago, and now they're all dead on the other side of the road.
Yeah, like, I don't know, if we had to choose one of the 7 deadly sins, right, because this is who we have fighting on screen up against Rain from Hell. I mean, this is going to be so tough to actually call one out, but with that, up comes Manfillas, directing the nades in the right direction this time around, finding a beautiful head up on towards Rain from Hell, and this could be a very sad end for Jin and Neon. Yep, right on cue, down they go, but now up comes BBC looking to roll in behind them. So Seven Sins, Arts of Killing, not out of the woods just yet. Yes, they might have found a few hits, but oh, there we go. Down goes Caveira. And Minfillers now finds himself in quite a bit of a predicament here.
Yeah, 7 AOK abandoned a couple of their spots that they had, and they went to go fetch those kills. And off the back of that, now BBC have moved in, and they're ready to do the exact same thing now. And Lord going for the long rotate around to get those angles. Falat still taking the peak over there. The explosions from the vehicles there making it difficult now for 7 AOK to get out of this situation. Now with the inability to retreat and really no way to go around, they just have to stick up and fight against BBC, who have basically got them surrounded at this point. Up come the last few members, and they're just putting the pressure on. This should be an easy, clean pickup for BBC. They've got the setup right. If they can get the execution through, it should be good. Lord goes down to see Esports, however, who are in the vicinity to put a couple of shots there. At the very least, some third parties in. BBC still a little bit focused here. Oh, 7 AOK set on fire. What a great Molotov to come through there. That pushes them straight into the ground to try and put out the fire, try and get the HPs back up. But with one of those Elams coming through, man, Phoenix is left alone in the smoke. And BBC, they're just continuing to rotate because they realize C Esports is moving up on the sideline. They're happy to pick up the kill, and they're just going to keep pushing through because C Esports is now coming into the vicinity. This is just so many teams passing by this particular spot. It has been quite a point of contention so far.
Yeah, the Valley of Doom, Batchy, the Valley of Doom. But of course, you know, this is one of the things I like about Miramar. It really tests the team's situational awareness, because we saw this happen quite a bit just now. You know, the teams move in, they're so focused on the one point, they're not really too aware of teams moving in behind them or alongside them. So it makes it so interesting. But as we look onto the zone, we can see G3 have quite a bit of company now in their area. They've obviously rotated out of San Martin, heading down in towards a more centralized position over towards La Bendita and those greater kind of areas. But now this is where it's going to be quite tough to defend, as we've got a big number of teams in the surrounding area. And again, if they are not too aware of what is happening around them, and they're too kind of tunnel visioned onto a team up ahead, we could see quite a few teams actually getting caught out with those third-party sprays.
Yeah, we certainly could. It is a big danger on a map like this. Those third-party shots are absolutely lethal. You have to be super, super careful here. Young Thunder with a good position up on the top of those hills could find an angle. Optimus has to be careful on the top of this roof. He is looking for something. In the meantime, G3 take a fight with Fear. Young Thunder also in the kill feed there. They are popping a couple of hits across. Everyone is looking for that opportunity. Zero almost finding one on towards Superior. Everyone is looking for the long ranges, and this is the epitome of Miramar. It's just shooting at figures on the other side of a canyon or all the way in the distance on the mountains. This is what happens for most of the game until things get a little bit closer, a little bit more compact for the teams. G3 with a stronghold on this compound, repelling the attack from lag. They're just going to have to get back and regroup before they make an attack. And Flecko putting the shots in. He is not happy. He is not letting them rotate away. He's picking up those kills. Lag, try and get out of a very difficult situation here for them.
But I don't really see why Lag would rotate out into such an exposed area. I mean, they know that they are fighting against the players here from G3, so much rather use the terrain and try and escape that way around instead of, you know, moving right up in line of sight of G3, because we know what happens, right? If they spot you, they're going to spray you. That's just one of those things. But now G3 also needs to be careful, because we see Fear actually moving in behind them. And if they're not too careful, this could actually be Fear, you know, biting them in the butt.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They have to be very careful about taking these fights. They do have a compound, they do have a spot, but it's not impenetrable. They can be defeated, technically can be pushed out. Sophia on the back here. We've got a bit of an angle. Looking to see if they can catch G3 out, catch them on maybe the rotate. Six God is going out of the compound to see if he could find some angles. There's quite a few teams in the surrounding area, so every single one of them could put a third-party shot in and really catch G3 out. So they decide to go for the 2-2 split, two of them staying in the main warehouse, two of them moving up in towards the buildings on the one side of this compound, maybe going to give them a few more angles to be able to defend themselves from. But you can see teams are now starting to congregate here inside this zone, and as it starts to shift up, it's going to get smaller and smaller. And once we hit zone 3 or 4, things will be, small enough that the teams will feel a little bit more comfy and close, and maybe they'll start to fight just a little bit more, because right now it's a matter of survival. In terms of, you don't want to get caught out right now, because there's so many teams surrounding these players that if you just take the wrong step in the wrong place, you get caught out, you get sniped, you get taken down, and it's lobby for you.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the zone, INF actually have a really strong position to be in, but they need to be so careful of that eastern edge behind them. That whole open section we see leading towards the side of that zone. I mean, the crater field here grants them quite a good vantage point, and they can see quite a bit in the surrounding area. But they need to be so careful with how they play this, and try to not make any mistakes, really. But here we go, Zero Tolerance starting to push up from the north, trying to outrun the players there of Rila and Cider. But this is going to be quite the chaotic zone. So many teams now forced closer and closer together. There's not a lot of space really to work with. You can see Old Boy also getting taken right on down. And this is that situation now, as Hates tries to move up, but Row is ready, locked and loaded, and strikes down and takes down the first one. But will we see the rest of the team here from Zero Tolerance actually following suit and moving into that same kind of position?
Yeah, that is the real question at the moment. Are we going to see them follow suit at the moment? Round trip, maybe grouping up just a little. Zeke very far away from the rest, but Zero Tolerance still with a very strong position here, despite the fact that they've fallen into this particular defensive position. It's not too bad. Hates crawling slowly back. The smoke is there to cover, so it might just be in an okay position. They might be able to get to him, no problem. But the question is, can they keep the Rila Insiders at bay? Rila Insiders not really able to find the sort of momentum that they've been looking for so far in round number 2. This could be where they start to pick up the pace just a little bit. They are certainly hungry for the kill. Vortex going to go for that res, and he will get it through onto Hate. So they do manage, under the cover of smoke, to get that in. Kage, in the meantime, in the kill feed, also putting some shots. So the fights are starting to break out now. The zone moving into stage number 4 and pushing in towards 5. Kage does go down, and Rila Insiders still mounting the pressure here. Zero Tolerance deciding it's probably a better idea to rotate away, which is a good call considering that zone it has become a whole lot smaller, and they need to get a good position inside as they push on up. However, they're going to be met by quite a few teams, because there are a lot of teams up towards the north moving into that direction, and one of them is Influence Rage. The other one is, of course, going to be Zero Tolerance, so things are difficult in Rila Insiders, should I say, moving in. J-Roller getting caught out. Vibes going to find those shots in towards him as these teams start streaming in, and now it's just a matter of who can get past these beams from these players.
Oh, but this is so tough. Zero Tolerance just leapfrogging himself up onto the foot side of this mountain. Oh, we see the players there from Lag right behind them. But of course, INF still holding on. But now, we see the players here from Rila inside actually getting sandwiched in between Zero Tolerance and the side of Influence Rage African. This could be quite an interesting play for all 3 teams involved here. But of course, it's going to come down to who will have their fingers on the triggers first and is able to, of course, land those sprays. You can see quite a few shots coming in from the opposite end of the zone, all the way from that far western side, now heading straight into this eastern region. Skydo keeping a very watchful eye, but this is going to be such a crazy fight. Here we go. Let's see, will Rila Insider be able to play this ditch? Vortex moving up. Up comes Vibes as well. Moving in behind his teammates. We do have Hates and Skydo holding on to the top edge. Just holding on that ridge line. This is where they're going to be put to the test. I mean, we still have 14 teams remaining. We are almost in our 5th phase. That zone getting ready and so much closer to pop. Speaking about popping, we have those utilities. The grenades getting sent in the direction here of Rila Insider. Bro already taking quite a bit of damage. He is able to, however, bring in that medkit. But Vibes, he's just feeling these destructive vibes as he's starting to push his way forward, looking to see if he can find that angle. And that could actually be quite favorable for the side here of Rila Insider, as they do have this whole entire ridge line to work with. But right up from behind comes INF Sully, just reminding them that they are not in the clear just yet.
Yeah, certainly have to fight through a whole bunch more obstacles to get into that clear. Cillian Hainsley on the top of this mountain. Rila inside is rotating out of the valley, trying to get themselves into a decent position. Vibes up here coming to meet them, putting the fight, taking it to them. The Rila inside is getting caught out on the rotate trip, of course, not in the best spot, is going to get taken down by Rainbow Six. Zero Tolerance still up on this hill rise on the right-hand side, and they've got a really good spread, a good position. They can cover quite a bit of ground for this Mercury up here towards the bottom there on that rock, looking to see if he can maybe catch a couple of those Zero Tolerance players out. Rilla Inside is up in the compound on the one side, all getting pushed by the natural killers. Osiris pushing through in that particular direction. G3 taking a fight as well as Fear. Everyone's going for it. Oh, actually, is this the roll? Mercury gets the roll on camera. There it is, Mercury and Infinity gonna get themselves that 1,000 patchy point roll reward right there. Real nice to see. There it is. And now they come into the compound for the fight as the natural killers up against the Rilla Insiders. Influence Rage after getting those patchy points. Will they be able to get the win? Mercury jumping around is going to avoid some bullets as the natural killers try to take him down, but he's going to escape by the sheer luck of the bunny hop, and maybe thanks to those patchy points that just giving them the energy to do so across the compound there. Mercury taking up the one side, Silly Ainsley and Nico down on the other side of this compound pushing through. Rao and Zeke having to defend this particular house, but can the natural killers find any leeway into this particular position right now? Influence Rage have the numbers advantage, but can they take this one?
Well, it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge because they are not secured within the zone just yet. The zone running right between them and the two opposing teams fighting over on towards the western side. So the pressure is going to be on for Rilla Insider and the Natural Killers to try and secure this position. We can see a few more heads coming in across the way as everyone is now getting down to business. Just look at the spread of teams behind them over towards the west. It is looking pretty crazy. But with that, Hate gets exploded. Fury and Skyder also now biting the dust. Surly gets taken right on down, but the pressure is on Nico Hainsley and Mercury trying to rush on through, running into the Natural Killers. Up comes the heads. Oh, Mercury with a quick drop shot. Osiris right there alongside him. Hainsley ventures up to the doorway, takes an insane amount of damage, takes down Rowe, but up comes Zeke, landing the finishing blow, and with that, of course, the players from INF get eliminated. Natural Killers and the side of Gorilla Insiders remain to fight another phase. But for how much longer, as Nova now feels the pressure coming through from atop of that crater and the zone shifting away from them. They need to now try and figure out how are they going to get their butts back up into zone. It is going to be quite a challenge. And it could almost be like hot coals trying to get back into that zone.
Yeah, it could certainly be a very difficult challenge here. They're going to have to push past so many obstacles right now. Still 9 teams on the board, but those are about to change very quickly. G3 finding themselves at the front end of some really bad engagements there. Midi 14 tearing through those HPs. We've got Sleepy at the top of the hill looking for some angles here along with the Sidemen. They're trying to capitalize on the fact that this ridgeline is just like a huge bowl, keeping the teams down on the one side of it. G3 still fighting up against Rainbow Six here, but Rainbow Six have the numbers advantage and they're finding the damage in towards some of those players. So G3 need to be careful about their HP. Sleepy, that angle is perfect. He's just finding so much damage. The recompense is swift though, as Sleepy does take quite a bit of damage himself, but doesn't go down. He's just looking for those cheeky thirsts from the top of the mountain, and he might just find a whole bunch of them. Natural Killers in a difficult spot, finding themselves pressured by both the Rilla Insiders and of course the Sidemen at the top of the mountain. Osiris now trying to stay alive as Nova gets taken down. Buden getting taken down by Rainbow Six. They continue their assault. Cheeky Sleepy putting the shots in. He finds Zeke. Down he goes. A nice confirm super quick. And now Sleepy can go and pick up maybe one last kill for the team there from Sidemen. They've already got themselves 9 kills here. 6 teams remaining at the moment, and the zone is going to be absolutely packed like a ton of sardines right now. You can see Rainbow Six huddled up here in some bumps and rises along the terrain. The Sidemen on the one side as well. Osiris has managed to make it up, but here comes the rest of G36 and Gunner going to be moving in, but instantly takes so much damage here. They run face first into bullets just flying at them, and Rainbow Six have been a thorn in the side, and the thorn is now driven through their heart as well. G3 get taken out, and Sidemen now, the crosshairs turned towards Young Thunder, actually, from BBC, taking those shots in towards their Romeo. Going to be the last one there, all the way on our one side of the screen, trying to stay alive. Nihal is looking for him, but right now it could be Rainbow Six versus Sidemen to try and just close out this match. These 4 remaining teams are going to have to battle it out. We've got 2 stragglers up on the one side, and we've got 2 full teams here that are ready to go.
This is going to be so crazy. But looking at the performance coming in from Sidemen in this match alone, it has been absolutely beautiful. Already double-digit kills on board. Romeo scanning frantically to see if he can spot out Nihal just up ahead. But it shouldn't be Nihal that he should be worried about. It should be the 2 other teams a little bit further down below. Sidemen looking to swoop on through. Rainbow Six also just up ahead, looking to hold strong. They still have a full squad ready to roll. See Prime now picking up the nades, looking to send them on over. Sway, as well as Sleepy and Sad Boy, keeping a very watchful eye throughout the zone, as they're looking to make a bit of a stand, but the zone has now shifted up all the way back in favor of them. So this is where the pressure is going to be on our 2 stragglers, having to cross this lovely treacherous passageway back into that zone. And actually, it's going to be quite a crazy fight coming in between Rainbow Six and the players here of Sidemen.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's the clash right now to end off our final map here for this day's games, Friday games. I hope you guys have been enjoying it, because right now it is up to the decisions made by these teams. The shots coming through from Rainbow Six, but the retaliation's immediate. Sidemen have to be careful here. Crawling back, Sad Boy has to make his way through, but is he going to get thirsted? No, he just manages to make it over the rise in time, but Rainbow Six, they have to be quick on this one, otherwise they might get caught out. Things are going to get difficult. Up comes Todoroki. This is a nice push from him. He might just be able to catch a quick angle if he's quick enough. Smoke's about to dissipate. Up he comes. He finds some damage in towards the Sidemen. Sad Boy's in a very difficult spot. Sleepy's low on HP as well. They have to be careful. They do have 1 player on the back line to try and support. Is it going to be enough as Rainbow Six coming up like a swarm? They do find the player in the back. That basically seals the deal. Now they can just collapse in on these last few players and potentially take them out. Purpose does go in, but he gets taken down there. Todoroki pushing up, and he is the final few members to push through, and Rainbow Six will find that secure. And look at those kills, DK. 14 kills in the pocket, plus a chicken dinner, which of course awards you 15 points. That is a considerable grab for Rainbow Six.
Yeah, that is a really, really amazing performance coming in from the side there of Rainbow Six Madagascar. And we got to point it out, right? The players here from Sidemen also doing a fantastic job, finishing strong with 10 points up, or 10 kills rather, in second place. So, you know, having themselves a very, very decent game coming straight on through. And this is what we wanted. We wanted to see an absolutely insane Miramar come to fruition, and that is what the teams surely delivered on.
That is probably one of the highest kill counts I've ever seen in a PUBG Mobile game. 16 kills, if I'm not mistaken. 16?
14, yeah.
Yeah.
14 kills. 14 kills. Oh, God, maybe not that high anymore. But still, a great showing from Rainbow Madagascar coming to taking the winner chicken dinner. That is absolutely awesome. We did say we wanted to see some teams who you've never hadn't seen in a while show up, and they did show up, and those points would prove very valuable in their bid to make it up the ladder and obviously secure that qualification spot. As we do know, there is still 1 more round of relegations to go, where teams from 17 to 24, I believe, get taken out of the roster, and we have 16 teams left for the final round. Quickly waiting, DK, what was your highlight in that particular map?
Just the way that Rainbow Six Madagascar handled themselves in this round. I mean, this was absolutely phenomenal. This was their first chicken dinner, you know, coming in. This is the 4th day of this round, and here they come with a beautiful performance right here on Miramar, just bringing the sheer numbers into those late phases and just managing to kind of outmaneuver the Sidemen, and they really, really benefited from that, as we can see, bringing in a 29-point game there. That is so close to the 30 bomb. 1 kill away from that. But Sidemen, got to give credit where credit is due. Absolutely beautiful performance. 22 points in total. 10 kills coming from their side. And then, of course, we got the players there from Young Thunder having really strong placement points, not getting as much kills as the other two insane player teams up ahead of them, but still finishing strong with double-digit points on the board.
Yes, and that is just really, really dope to see. I can't even wait to see what and how this affects the table. Let's take a look at the second page, and Patrick can walk us through what we're looking at from some of these teams on the other side.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm just gonna point out that I did call out the Young Thunder top 3 finish. That there it is, patchy point prediction, still 100%. I never make a prediction mistake ever. You can fact check me on that. Don't fact check me on that. But in any case, 7 AOK, a team up here with CE Sports and Influence Rage and Unique and Aphelion Apex, all of the teams that we could expect to do well, but not finding their rhythm here in this final game, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. The teams did have at least a decent performance earlier on today, and of course, MVP going to go into the hands of Purpose. There 7 kills, 1,064 points of damage for Purpose there from Rainbow Six. A really good performance out of them, and I think absolutely well deserved. I have to agree with DK's and take on the situation here, where Rainbow Six just had a really good performance, basically all map long. Which is good to see, especially considering there are quite a number of teams in this lobby that they played against that are very capable players on Miramar. They're very capable Miramar teams. So, to come out with a chicken dinner and to come out with almost a 14, or actually almost a 15 kill bomb there in that single game, almost doubling your chicken dinner points to get that is really impressive. So yeah, let's have a look at those overall standings here. This is the overall leaderboard for this round so far. Influence Rage have broken the century mark, so they're sitting at 106 points, still at the top of our leaderboards at the moment. We do have Lag Esports down there in third position, 83 points for them, followed very closely by CE Sports. So the competition is rising to meet Influence Rage's challenge right there. Of course, Rainbow Six, with a pretty good game today, are going to find themselves in 5th position there, followed very, very closely by G3, who have managed to move themselves up onto the first page here in 6th position. Zero Tolerance, as well as Team Unique, also managing to keep themselves up with the leaders of our teams in this round at the moment. So very, very good to see those teams up there. I did want to see Unique at least keeping it up, and they are certainly doing so. Moving on to the second page, the Rila Insiders and Aatrox are very, very close to one another here on this leaderboard. The Magicians still finding themselves up with the best of them. 4KT on this page are just underneath. We find Aphelion Apex. So the teams that I'm expecting to do pretty well, like for instance Rila Insiders, like the Magicians, like 4KT even, these guys got a little bit more work to do, but we will be seeing them very shortly. So we have some fun in store. At least we might be able to see these teams moving up. But of course, this is the page where, you start to become a little bit skeptical. Of course, Solar Esports, a team that I do not want to be seeing where they are right now. That is a team that should not be in position number 24. Absolutely not. They need to move up out of that position super, super quickly. We know they can. We just need them to do it, because right now their performance does not reflect what we saw in round number 1. And the same can actually be said for the likes of 7AOK and Team Somalia. They're a team that were doing really, really well in round 1. And finding themselves down here is not a go zone for them. So I do expect that we will be seeing those teams step it up in a big way to try and accumulate those points. But for now, I think the most critical part for me there was Solar Esports. They need to get moving, and they need to get moving fast. In any case, we of course have our kill leaders for this round so far, sporting 21 kills at the moment. Sully been dealing and absolutely dishing out that damage. 4,000 points for those 21 kills there. Rainbow Six sporting 2 of their members, Prime and Purpose, 17 kills each. 3,400 damage and 2,800 damage apiece. And then, of course, Berserk from Lag Esports coming in there, 15 kills and 2,800 points of damage as well. So some really good performances. And these guys are racking up numbers very quickly.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, numbers being racked, tables being shaken, people moving up and down, and people hoping that they leave the final page It is all the action that is the Umzansi Esports League in season 4, fighting for that prize pool of $15,000. We are getting closer and closer to the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say big thank you to DK and Patchy. It has been an amazing night working with you too. There is still more action to come tomorrow and on Sunday, so don't go anywhere. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, please drop your comments below, not just on the live chat. We want to see your interaction. We also want to see your engagement because it helps our algorithm. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Sid. Enjoy your Friday night and we'll see you tomorrow.